and we appreciate you joining us here on WebDM Twitch, where we are playing some Land Between Two Rivers. Hope everybody's week has been going well. Words betray me, and they're false things, and one day they will utterly fail me. But for now, I'll stumble through it as best I can. Before we get to playing our game, how is everybody doing? Grant, how's it going this week?
Capital. It's great to be here on WebDM. It's not enough in my life to be voted the most handsome man on Twitch 7 years in a row. I really need to play a game with Jim Davis and portray the role of Gildon Goblin in order to feel that I've accomplished anything in my 36 years as a human being.
Wow.
That goes without saying. I'm happy to be here for... I don't know what I'm doing right now. I was like, what character can I come up with off the top of my head? It's like, pretty soon the cane's just going to come out and pull me off stage. The tomatoes hit me in the face. Oh, fruit.
Probably. Can I just say that Grant is like an amazing human being? You're all amazing human beings. But I don't know why, like, Grant, you're just great. And I just want to let you know. Like, and you're a great and supportive friend. Like, I don't know. You're amazing.
Well said. Well said. Well said.
Heights.
Can't.
But I turned my heart to a scrotum. Yeah. Sorry.
Dude. I'm out. I'm sorry.
Recovery.
That's great. Lindy, how are you doing this week?
Oh, hi. I'm doing pretty spiffy. I'm doing great. I am looking forward to playing Myrrh Valentine, who only has the world's best intentions at heart here and not at all any ulterior motives when it comes to corrupting a celestial. That's a totally normal, humane thing to do, and she is down to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like
it fits with her lawful alignment.
Certainly not. Anything to justify. So I'm glad to hear it. TK will be joining us later as soon as they are available, but and look forward to that. Anna, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing great this week, Jim, and I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Awesome.
And I'm back to play Ellie, the wholesome BB of the group. And I found out some things before we started stream that I'm not gonna metagame, but like poor Ellie, you know. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. It could a lot of different ways that could go, but it'll be interesting figuring out which route.
Oh yeah.
Down.
Secrets, foreshadowing.
Yes, very good. And Josh, how are you this week?
I'm doing pretty good, Jim. Doing all right. I've got this tiny comb.
Oh,
I'm feeling good about it. I found it somewhere. Anyway, I'm doing good.
That's a really cute comb.
It is really cute. It's also a little brush.
Is it like for like a doll, or is it like a beard brush, or maybe an eyebrow thing?
I think it's eyebrow, honestly, but I'm trying to use it for mustache.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You never know what you'll find.
Riveting.
Look for things.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm excited. I know Minizen is in. He might be in hot water, or they might be in hot water. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yes, and so this is a question I hope we can answer this evening. Excuse me. Before we get started, big shout out to our show sponsor, Tabletop Loot. Go and check them out and use our code WebDM15 for a little discount on Tabletop Loot. You know, this is the dead of winter. Right, it's cold outside, and I know that you guys have had that obsession with building your own house made of dice just in the back of your mind, and as you stare out across that wintry plain of pure white blankness and wonder, what are you going to do to alleviate all the boredom in your life? You're just going to buy all the dice you can and make a house out of it, and hopefully ride out the winter and your own insane obsessions. Check out Tabletop Loot and see what they have to offer. Wow, last week on Land Between Two Rivers,
Nailed it.
yeah, you guys arrived at the town of Ghost Top, which had been taken over by a bunch of devils and their, the army that they had been forming as they traveled through the wasteland. And making your way through the camp and the fortified village, you found that they had an angel bound and seemingly in some sort of agonizing state, that whispering prophetic phrases and omens to groups of wastelanders. You spread throughout the village, encountered some of the various infernal denizens who had taken it over, including one Abros, a horned devil who seems to be in some position of command amongst the camp. Certainly other devils around him were deferring to its presence. But had taken somewhat of an interest in Ellie. And Gildon had arranged several complicated pacts in order to, whose soul would it be, and the like, in order to gain access to some of these fiends when perhaps they weren't about, and to acquire an imp or two, just as you do. As the party stayed there for a while and spent the day getting to know the place, Nenizen grew and Ikki grew curious about a hut that was still standing in the village, and exploring it further found a staircase down to a cavern where it seemed as though prisoners of some sort were being kept docile by several other devils who were moving amongst them. And I believe we sort of left off as the day progresses, and you guys really have most of the day there, or all of it rather, to just spend time, get acquainted. It's closer towards sundown whenever the prisoners in the cave start getting herded upwards. So a couple of things, because Myrrh is sort of occupied for most of this time while preparing for this ritual. Myrrh's had a chance to sort of go through a lot of the records of the camp, and you have a good feel for, say, the chain of command, as well as a couple of interesting things of note here. So you sort of get the full, who's in charge, who the deputy is, the various officers. You know that most of the actual fiends that make up this force are more like cambions and alu fiends and tieflings, some of whom you recognize from your time in Dis. These are more like low-ranking members of Phimeus's entourage. Go run this errand for me kind of people. And so they're not even necessarily like proper devils. Like the amount of actual proper devils in the camp is still not that high. The other thing of note is that 3 names that Myrrh recognizes from the Fellowship appear on the rosters of the infernal order of battles that they have. One, Harchbald, who is a kobold of fairly well known amongst the Fellowship, a preserver, but not particularly like influential or anything like that. Royce, who was the bugbear garrison commander, the warden at the border post, the one who couldn't stand Baloo. And then Shashi, who's another preserver.
All right. Very interesting.
So Myrrh's occupied with that, as well as preparations for the ritual. I'm curious because we know where Nenizen is, and the last time we saw Ellie was kind of arguing with one of the guards, who clearly was like being kept from physically retaliating but was just like really getting wound up by Ellie. And I think Gildon was there as well, or was Gildon off doing something else?
Gildon's upstairs. What he was doing is he was doing fortunes forecast, lucky charms, divinations for any devil that wanted to. And I think what he wants to do is possibly even see if any of the devils are interested in a little bit of goblin debt wrestling. First to the pin.
Debt wrestling?
Debt wrestling. You get pinned, you owe a debt.
This is intriguing just to several of the more warlike.
Nothing devils like more than a good debt.
Yeah, you attract the crowd of some of the more low-ranking devils that are here, like a trio of bearded devils and a barbed one as well, just kind of like ambling over. They'd be happy to anything in which debts can be exchanged, created. They're happy to engage in it. Debt are the rules.
All right, so here's how it works, and I'm happy to demonstrate, but I'm gonna have to use my old wrestling dummy, Haggy McPinkerton, and I reach into a bag and I kind of pull out this awkward looking like body pillow that kind of is Gildon sized. Well, it's either look, it gets cold in the desert, and I got a spine condition, so I kind of hold it up. I go, so the first thing you do is you agree to the terms, and you state what the terms are.
What are the terms?
If I it's individually based, and really it's best to come up with terms that are most.
They start arguing immediately about whether or not you should have a term book, why there aren't set terms already.
Well, that's very clear, especially you as lawful creatures. You should understand. I mean, first off, you got to think about even the region you're in, right? There's different planes, and you know that there's different laws on different planes. And so there is a term book. However, what you have to do is you have to make sure that you establish where you're at and where you're wrestling. So if you're down there in Dis, the rules are going to be different than if you're up high and the high heavens.
They're all
not that anyone wants to go there.
It's complicated. Yeah. It sounds like there's a lot of loopholes.
There is, not to mention there's biased and controversial judging. Like, you better believe.
Is there standards and practices book for these judging these matches?
The best thing about it is a new version of that book comes out every 3 months.
The Mr. Barb wants to know: is there a certification process that ensures
with hefty fees and fines?
Very good.
And a little bit of discrimination as well.
They're way more impressed about becoming referees, and if there's a way to broker debts by just being a referee. Like, can you?
Oh, you better believe it. That's not reffing though. That's managing, and managing is where the real that's where the real benefits are. I mean, trying to think exactly how to phrase. Why work for your debts when your debts can work for you? I know, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they seem impressed, but they also don't seem particularly bright as they.
Nor do I.
You could manage, and I could ref, and that.
You better believe it, and not only that, once
coach.
Any group of refs and managers can get together and form an association, and then by there modify and dictate your rules to your liking. Think of it.
Do you think it'd be possible to have a bunch of wrestlers and we just make them work for us and we just take it all in?
Another name for wrestler is a worker. There's a reason for it.
If they could be workers, they could be enslaved.
You better believe it. They're independent contractors. You don't even have to pay them a standard wage.
We could revolutionize the fighting pits.
And I think that's really what we need you to do. Yeah. In fact, I know a group of orcs over in Trade. They've needed some deviling for a long time.
Yeah, they could use a bit more of infernal influence in there. Yeah, this trio.
This is how you get Tanarooks. Do you want Tanarooks? This is how you get Tanarooks. And yes, I know those are demons.
They seem impressed until clearly one of their superiors, the one arguing with Ellie, sees this going on, uses the excuse to leave Ellie and go berate and take out all of his frustration on the three of them. And so that takes a while. By now,
I slowly, like Homer Simpson through the bushes, like. The worst thing is if there's like an order of Gildonites that establishes itself in hell. They're like, it's like that goblin said, we need more wrestling in our lives. From this day forward.
All right, making a note. 2 bearded devils, 1 barbed.
Goblin dead wrestling.
Goblin dead
Gildon
wrestling.
McMahon.
All right.
There's no chance in hell that a barbed devil's gonna beat a bearded devil. No chance! Sorry. I love you, chat.
So, while all of this is going on, like I said, you have a full day here, but as night begins to fall, I'd like to know where everybody is and sort of what they're doing as the first of the people start coming out of the hut. And Netizen, you get a good look as this whole process begins. It appears as though both of these, bone devils are carrying around these triptarchs, right? These sort of like 3-panel. They seem to be made on like cast iron or something, but you don't really, from where you're at, you couldn't really get a good view of what's on them. But they sort of pass them and sort of show them to the group, and no one's getting up, no one's moving, no one's. They seem completely out of it until they all begin to move as one and begin to climb the staircase slowly to the surface.
So I don't recognize what the thing is.
You would have to get much closer, and you if I recall, you had a really good stealth check and move about the cavern. There's lots of places to hide, but you have to get much closer to see what's actually on them.
Okay.
They're opened and closed constantly.
Okay, weird. How long am I in there before they start piling out?
I got the impression you were in there for a while before they started leaving, because they provided the distraction, but you've been down there for a while, and that was my impression.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to wait for them to file out before I look a little more. Although. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to maintain your hiding place?
I think so. As they're being filed out, are these all the guards? Those so they're like bone demons, right?
Devils, but yeah, they're like the large. They're not identical. They don't have as much variety as say demons, but one of them. You never could quite see well was further back. You get the impression this cavern is more like a cave system that's underneath here. But you could tell that there was another one further back that appeared just a different shape, if not the similar sort of like silhouette. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Different but similar. Same but different.
Same but different. Yeah. Okay, I will say this though. I mean, I want to maintain cover, but I also want to see what this thing is. Could you describe it to me again? How about this? I'm going to sneak closer. I'm trying to get a better look.
All right. Well, okay. You can give me another stealth roll if you're actually going to move around. In just a minute, I will paint you a picture with words. So as you move further into the cavern and get a better feel for this place, you can tell that there was another
26.
Group being kept back there. Okay, 26. And this particular devil has a set of arms grafted to it. It looks like multiple sets of arms. Its entire flesh, which is not a lot to begin with, right? These things look like 9-foot tall skeletons with these sort of terrible claws and a kind of lashing tail with some sort of barb on the end of it. But this one has its flesh pierced in multiple places by hooks and blades that are sort of embedded in it, and then seems to have this very crudely grafted set of basically like diesel punk arms attached to it. Right.
Does everybody see this creature?
This is down below.
That's right. Okay, still down there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's like in its chest?
Along its side.
On its side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's doing the same thing. It's got the little triptych that it shows the prisoners. They're beginning to get up and move. You can hear, like, by now the village is starting to, the rhythmic drumming, the beginning of the ritual, which will last all night. And they'll continue doing it until, it's successful. So it seems like they've done this several other times, although Ninizen, doesn't necessarily know that, but that's what's beginning to happen.
Okay.
And the first group of prisoners is now leaving. Of the ones that you've seen, you know that there are 3 enemies down here, 3 devils.
All right. Okay.
Do you continue to explore, or are you going to keep your hiding spot?
I'm going to keep exploring.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Press on. Give me one last stealth check. Or one more stealth check.
24.
Okay. You pass through the series of caves and vaults that they're keeping prisoners here, and it looks as though there are a lot, hundreds maybe down here. There's a third cavern. This time, instead of plates are being shown, there's a single what appears to be like a stalactite or something on the ceiling that bears a deep crimson, a very dull rune of some kind, and everyone around it is sort of sitting radial, spreading out from that stalactite, staring up at it. All wastelanders.
This is a bad place, to say the least.
But that's just, you could go deeper into the caves. There are several places where you could descend through cracks in the floor or crevasses and the like.
At this point, they've started moving out, right?
The whole cavern has started to move and to,
Do I see any of the devils moving to leave?
It looks like they're all herding them up the staircase. They're mostly focused with keeping them in line, keeping them, going up. Those of you who are up, the devil that was beating the 3 that were talking to Gildon hears the drums, beginning to sound and moves back to his spot and ushers them out, where they begin filing around the scaffolding and the platform that Zariel is bound to. So that's sort of where they're sort of going. Anyway, so are you're staying where you are? What is Ninizen's last act before we switch scenes?
I'm still in recon mode. I'm gonna keep looking around, hoping that there's only the 3 of those things down here and that they leave with the others.
Okay.
So that I can get intel and then follow them out.
Gotcha. So are you going to try to explore down one of the crevasses in the cave, or?
Yes.
Okay.
And then he explored the whole dungeon.
Give me a stealth and, in this case, an athletics roll.
Okay.
Some kind of way to climb down without needing a roll.
Well, I mean,
Actually, what's your slow fall?
50 feet. Like.
You don't need to climb. You could just.
Yeah.
It's not that far.
I was gonna say, like, yeah.
It's not that far.
Okay. Yeah. Then I will try to silently hop down. Every time I roll, Jim, it's 1 less than the last time. So 23.
No. That's still plenty to beat the passive perceptions of most creatures in the monster manual.
I know.
You can You manage to slide down the like a steep incline, right? And about 20 feet down, you enter into another cavern. The feeling here is much lower. You can hear running water of some kind coming from somewhere underneath here. And give me a perception check.
Jim, it was one lower, but now it's for perception. 21. 21.
Okay. You can hear people whispering from somewhere up ahead, and the occasional splash of a footfall in the water. For everyone else here, so all day, well, let's get back to Myrrh. All day, you've been studying the ritual, you've been studying the paperwork, and at some point, shortly before the ritual begins, the commander of this whole force makes his appearance, stepping out from one of the other two structures that are left standing in the village, and is every picture of a stereotypical Hell Knight. This sort of like blackened, angular armor that seems towering and menacing, just molten light, spewing out from the seams of it, smoldering infernal eyes and the like, and it strides across the camp, drawing looks of dread and anxiety from like all of the devils and the new recruits that they've got, and makes his way to where the quartermaster is, and where Myrrh has been given some sort of temporary workspace, basically.
Oh yeah, she's got like a bunch of notes and stuff. She's annotating it, so it's in her kind of writing to be able to go through it easier. It's not in straight infernal either.
Mahabrin has left.
It's in Elfernal, which is like
on it.
Yeah, no, she's got like separate notes. Yes, you want me to perform ritual? Yes, okay. I'm writing. I'm using. This is original. This is copy. So I can read notes easier. I have to make connotations. I'm not a wizard. I am a bard. The things must be tweaks.
He just can't handle it. He really can't. And he knows, onboard some other new recruits. And whenever Leggett, what do I call him? I've lost my NPC name list. The commander of the camp comes in, Arushar.
Arushar.
And I'll type it in chat for y'all.
Cool.
Like I said, he is sort of every inch the stereotypical Hell Knight comes in and removes his helmet. You see a close-cropped looking man, definitely not like a true fiend, but some sort of perhaps Cambion or tiefling or something. And he speaks to Myrrh. Are you finding all the paperwork? It's not too much for you, I hope.
Oh, no, not too much at all. It's just having to reorganize certain assets of its sloppy work,
Of course. Well, I assume that you would be able to make the modifications that you needed.
Of course.
I'm glad that we were able to find someone of your talent out here. It's been rough having to make do with the limited resources that we have.
Yes, the resources on this plane are indeed incredibly limited. You've done well with what you have.
Excellent. I hope you find our benefits package to your liking. Be sure to take advantage of all the amenities that we offer.
I most certainly will. Yes.
Excellent. Now, if for your companions that you arrived with, are they freelance contractors? Do we need to get them on board, or are they?
They work for me.
I see. Well, I'll tell you what. Well,
a few of them do freelance on the side, but they should be run by me first.
Mahabrin can handle the details on that.
Yes.
What's important is that you're all a part of the family here now, and anything that we can do for you, we hope that you'll extend and do the same for us.
Of course.
Excellent. Any questions for I hand you back over to Mahabrin?
Not particularly. How long have you been in charge of this force? Just out of curiosity and paperwork all day.
Certainly. It's one thing to read about it in
exactly
roles, but quite another to get a feel for it. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm approached by our Dominus Phimius, and he says to me, there's that portal sitting over there. And I bet you that there's just some opportunity on the other side waiting to be seized. And you know what? Sure enough, there was. As soon as we came out, there was Zariel, plain as day, right there, waiting for us almost. And after that, it became more a matter of getting a feel for his needs and our needs and what it was that we could offer each other.
Of course. Now, I believe that according to my notes, of course, and everything, you can't trust everything you read. And it's just secondhand information. I believe you found Zariel, and apparently the ritual was attempted previously, but only got halfway through. Were you there when the ritual was initiated?
I was present with the follow-up force after the ritual was initiated. Vanguard began the process, but was there for most of the initial onboarding of everyone and the original recruitment drives. From there, it was, it's been a wild ride, let me tell you. And he sat down, he sort of like leaned up against one of Myrrh's, which is like all HR middle manager style. Yeah. And is just chatting with Myrrh. But I was not there when the ritual was ended, sadly. That occurred on someone else's watch.
I heard it was a very messy business. Fortunate for you, it was someone else's watch.
Fortunate, yes. Not so much for them, but as you'll notice in Appendix Z, there's a list of punishments and like. I'm sure it won't be a problem of someone of your standing.
Sure.
Yes. But elemental magic was used to extinguish the infernal fires that were, of course, purifying Zariel, getting him ready.
Yes.
Task at hand. So, good thing we had a plan B. And that's where you come in. And at this
plan
point,
B is always important.
Zariel had a great many insights, and once he found out that you were on your way, well, that just really turned things around for us, and just gave us the shot in the arm that we really needed to pull this thing through.
Excellent. And she's flipping through the benefits package again as we speak, like Appendix Z.
Yeah, that's all of the infractions. It's on like an infinite scroll. So all throughout the day, you guys have been aware that skirmishes and fighting are taking place in and around the camp. It seems as though that wastelanders have been making little raids and attacks, and as the night draws near and this sort of ritual begins and the commander sort of stops by to check up last minute sort of things, the sound of fighting has only grown more and more intense. Everyone on the surface can hear it. Of course, you're in the middle of a very large camp. There are several thousand, if not more, wastelanders that have been assembled by the devils alone. And there was a large hobgoblin force. Jando's Rock is not that far away. So it's a rather large scale thing. You guys are in the middle of this camp. As the ritual begins, I'm curious as to what everyone is doing. And that's what I'm curious about. Let's start with Myrrh.
Well, Myrrh has definitely gone over everything with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that she's covered her own ass first before she tries messing with this ritual anymore. And then, if it's possible, she'd like to work in that back door we talked about.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's betting Phineas underestimated her intelligence, being not a full fiend herself.
Right.
So.
Exactly. So in order to
her lawyering.
All right.
Backdoor.
Yeah, I think that I was thinking about that one, and I think it'd be like maybe an intelligence deception.
Okay.
That's what I think I like, sort of like you're subtly altering things so that the flow of this magic. The ritual is sort of twofold.
Okay.
You're basically changing the Celestial's alignment through exposing it to blasphemous acts, is basically it. Forcing it to witness things that offend its moral compass, but an inability to act will drive it crazy and render it malleable, reshaping it in your what you want. Messy, but it'll work. So your job is really there to officiate and keep things going and to sort of make sure that everyone's doing their job correctly. There are going to be 6 other participants in the ritual, including another Cambion who is part of the chain of command here. So
Do any of these other participants not respect my authority as officiant? I need to put any of them in line.
There's some of them are kind of resentful of like you, like, you know, and of not just an outsider, native, you know, a plainer native here, and also like she's not even a devil, like she's just can be on herself, you know, that kind of back.
Yeah.
But
the one who's stirring up the most, I just want to get them alone for a moment and do my fear tactic. Just talk to him for a minute alone and be like, well, obviously you were not qualified enough, and just tear him a new one and have them make that save. Yeah. Because I could put the one who's stirring up the most stuff in line, and they'd be less likely to.
Let's see here. You would be dealing with like not true fiends, more like fellow tieflings and alu fiends and things like that, and so they're not like
my words of terror. Wisdom saving throw DC 17.
I don't think no.
Just whoever's stirring the pot the most, just put them in line.
Yeah,
it's not just blood, it's intelligence. Come on.
No, he does not. I got a 14 for my save.
Okay.
And so he's just like he's this, you know, he's like he's an infernal noble in a sort of a similar position that Myrrh would have been in had you stayed in Dis. But you know, you don't know who he is. You never heard of this.
I've never even heard of you, and I know all the major players, so obviously you're not that major.
And he
has thought you were capable and competent, that he would have put you in this position, but obviously he did not think that was the case, as you were one of the lesser officiants, more of like an usher, really, if this was a formal event. But I suppose your presence is necessary. However, you should know your place.
Ouch.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything.
No. Pat him.
He's like, forgive me, Domina. You know, he's
yeah.
And he seems sufficiently cowed and also like I'm not gonna go there.
I didn't know where you were going.
Right, yeah, we all know what I was thinking.
Smack him with my tail on the way out.
Yeah, he's, you know, all you have to do is take this knife. So he seems cowed, and the rest of them officially impressed, right? Like, Myrrh seems to know what she's doing, particularly the master summoner that they have who's accompanied them. Urja, let me get this right. Irzar is his name, and he's when you meet him at the last minute, like, he didn't come out until the ritual begins.
Yeah,
and he comes out like looking like a fiendish Liberace, just like bam. And
love it.
Drums begin to
I
go
love
off.
It.
And he's just dazzling as he steps out of his portion to lead his bit of it. So Myrrh's beginning to work on the ritual. Then she's cowed one of the participants into and sort of being afraid from her potential some other shenanigans. Go ahead and give me that deception modified by intelligence.
Okay. But because it's deception, I still get my expertise.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So I just have to subtract 1 from this roll.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
That's so good. Okay. Natural 18 plus 12. 30.
Okay. All right.
No, my craft.
Let me make a note. You're fairly confident that there's no that they would have to spend a long time, and you know that someone would have to be actually observing you go while it goes on.
Yeah.
With the ability to see the flow of magic to probably really catch you, but you're pretty confident that the modifications you've made were subtle enough that you won't be caught quickly if you get caught at all.
Yeah.
Excellent. So entering into the ritual with confidence that your modifications have been made, it begins. and it's now thoroughly nightfall. Sundown was about an hour ago. These attacks have grown in intensity, especially after nightfall. You can sort of just tell that the entire infernal camp is buzzing with activity, and can hear like the trumpets and other sorts of signals and the like calling different cohorts to battle. So that's Myrrh. How about Gildon? Where, as we begin here, what's Gildon do up to?
I'm positive Gildon's gathered a small group of devils, and he's probably on the 93rd verse of the epic poem, The Goblin Who Came Down the Mountain, and he's just, "Speak, memory of the cutting hero, the wanderer blown off course time and again after he plundered Trade Town's sacred heights. Speak of all the cities he saw, the mines he grasped, the suffering deep in his heart at sea, as he struggled to survive and bring his bugbears home." And, like, Gildon's still, he's like, "Look, as long as we're here with a bunch of devils, I've got to try to impress them as much as possible, because if I can get a faction of Gildonites growing in the bowels of hell..."
Yes, then that would be bad news for many people. There's some, like, all the big boys have to run off and go do important things, but there's always imps and little spined, like just above imps, who, like, there's a poem. Like, are you part of the entertainment that we brought?
No. This is more than that. I mean, I want you to learn and understand the origin of devils and all things that belong to devils, and how important your place is within the vast cosmos and cosmology. And no devil is too small to have their origin go unnoticed. And I think it is important that you devils study the great devils and learn from their laws.
Oh, wow. So, okay. So this is the preacher they brought with us. I mean, they just seem,
The only one that could ever reach me was the goblin of a preacher man. Sorry. Oh, no. I got the look from TK again.
But no one sticks around for very long, because as the night goes on, like I said, the place becomes more and more abuzz with activity, and any ones that sort of stop to listen to Gildon are immediately yelled at and harangued until they get back and do their orders. And you just get dirty looks from the, from some of the ones that are, supposed to keep everybody else.
That's okay. I give them dirty thoughts.
Just like, or they're just like, They walk away. They're like, yeah.
They know that trick. That's trick number 34 in the book.
Yeah. So as Gildon is sort of like just is a nuisance to devils abusing their umbrella of hospitality. How about Ellie? Where do we find Ellie as all this starts kicking off?
I think Ellie, as soon as that other skeleton just walked away from her, Ellie's just gonna be like, we were just having fun. And then she looks over to Axe Dreamer. Mm-hmm. You're like, did you hear that?
Which part?
Listen closely. And then she kind of puts her head towards the direction of where there's people like wrestling. Mm-hmm. Is that like when Gildon went to go wrestle a bunch of orcs?
Something like that, probably. They seem, I don't know, treated a little differently. And he's sort of like looking around and seeing if there's, what exactly is it that that Ellie's hearing?
Yeah, and she kind of, unless this was like super far away, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. She basically heard a bunch of people yelling, like kind of where that skeleton went to go wrestle for depths or that stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, should we join?
I mean, I don't know, Ellie. These people seem really bad news. They seem like real nasty creatures. I get a bad vibe from a lot of them, but if you want to, you seem like you can take care of yourself. Just, watch your back.
She like looks behind her, like, oh, there's nothing there. Well, I mean, not everybody gives me a weird vibe. I think a lot of these people are very nice.
Well, oh, I don't. Okay, that's fine. I don't know that I agree with you, but it doesn't seem worth arguing about. You know what? I'll watch your back. You just go see what's up, see what's going on. And he just seems resigned to whatever shenanigans Ellie has in mind. They're like, oh, that's fine. I couldn't. Myrrh's gonna kill me.
As soon as he says that, he's gonna just kind of like
just like under his breath. That's what he said.
I'm just gonna like.
He says it like ancient common. He says something in a foreign language, I guess, but you recognize some of it. You sort of, yeah. Get the gist.
Talk about my mom.
Right.
You just talk about my mama? Oh hell no. So she's gonna ignore whatever he said.
Okay.
She's gonna get a little bit closer to where people are wrestling.
Yeah.
And then just kind of watch, like that little kid that's watching like horror movies. Well, that was me too. When you're not supposed to, and just like watching, like who's gonna win, and then just kind of waiting for maybe somebody that looks like a smartass and kind of like wait for her prey.
Gotcha. It looks like most of them are like some of the tiefling entourage from this place, and sort of similar. They're not like rank and file, but they're like useless officers. They have like ceremonial titles, things like that. You know, they don't perform a vital function. They just are there to not be in somebody else's way. A lot of them are wrestling. Some of them are like proper fiends that seem like they're, actually like, oh, we could really get this going. Yeah. And after it's not too long before Arbros finds his way there, and seems to just kind of like look around, seems like really angry until he sees Ellie, and he kind of not like walks over towards you, but begins to make his way towards you as he just like scowls at the rest of them wrestling. Yeah. You find entertainment in this?
Sometimes. Is there anything else more entertaining than this?
The ritual will begin soon. Plenty entertaining.
What kind of ritual?
Purify the celestial. Make him like us.
Who's the celestial?
Kind of gestures back towards Zariel on the scaffold.
Oh. Okay, that kind of makes sense. So, will he become like you?
After a fashion, I was once like him. And it's just he sort of like see this, there's like seething hatred and fury that's kind of inside of him. It's almost palpable. My task is almost at hand. These insects that inhabit your world, pestering us. He begins to draw himself up and kind of like shake his wings out and stand up straight as he seems like getting ready to fly.
It seems like you have a lot of anger in you. Have you ever tried to like dance or something to not be angry all the time?
Riddle is that your anger is what gives you power. My anger fuels everything that is great about me.
So are you saying that
further, perhaps see me after this battle?
And then she kind of gets an image of her mom's going like, but she's like, that could be a good idea.
Speak my name thrice, and I will come.
I heard that was a good band. I mean, what? Okay.
And he takes off, and the dust is sort of kicked up, makes a circle, and then seems to join a bunch of smaller flyers as they head north to go fight.
What a nice guy, right? She looks at X Streamer.
No, he seems like a real monster, Ellie. Like, what do you say to you?
Just stuff.
Mm.
But I think a lot of people here are very angry. It could be the moisture in the air or the lack of. I don't know. But I feel like I could really get through to some of these people.
It seems like what they want you to think, so that you'll keep talking to them. I don't think it's a good idea, Ellie. I don't know. Like, and he seems like really nervous now, and he's like looking around. He doesn't see anyone else. He's just kind of like, seems like really anxious at this point. We should go find Myrrh or Ikki. I think Ikki will be able to help us out. Myrrh seems busy.
I think what we should do first is get snacks and then go find Ikki. And you need to relax. That whole look on your face, you need to breathe.
I look, and he seems super self-conscious, puts his visor down, and, and he like snacks for this way, and goes back to get some snacks. The fighting is picking up outside, and let's visit Ikki, because I think when we last saw Ikki, she was sort of like keeping an eye out on the hut. That devil's gone. It went to go break up a gathering that Gildon was starting, and there's really, for at least a little while, not anyone around the hut where Nizen snuck into.
Yeah, man, she is bored. But she did promise that she was going to stay by the hut, and Nizen hasn't been out, and it's been like a really long time. She hasn't seen Slip Slash either, so there's some concern here.
Should have done that telepathic bond with somebody.
She is not gonna let her party mates borrow her pets anymore. Every time they do, just die. Yeah, she's still hanging out behind the hut, though. She did fall asleep a couple times.
Something like the sound of the ritual drums wakes Ikki up.
Ugh.
There's prisoners filing out of the hut now and gathering in front of the where they have the angel gathered. There's a whole thing going on there. They got cauldrons that are filled with some kind of liquid. There's all kinds of people in robes. And
does it smell like food in the cauldrons?
No, it smells like dead things in those cauldrons. It smells like something terrible comes out.
Okay. I was like,
Can
Ikki see Nizen filing out?
No, Nizen has not come out of the cabin. Nizen's been gone for a long time.
It's been gone for a really long time.
Yeah, like at least an hour.
Who else can she see?
Ellie and Axtreamer were around here somewhere, but they seem to have gotten off. You can hear Gildon occasionally, but other than that, the village itself is actually rather empty. There are those devils and members of the entourage in the center about to begin the ritual, and they've got some guards with them.
Has the hut emptied itself out completely?
It seems as if there are way more people coming out of this hut than could fit in there.
Well, I can't sneak down there now, can I, Nizen? I can't believe this was your idea.
But you're sort of like where it is by the hut. You're sort of on the north end of the village, and you're there as a flight of arrows begins to like pepper the walls and ground around you. Like there's none of them that are anywhere near you, but you like they get into the wall. There's fighting going on outside.
Oh, okay. Then that's fine. That's fine. It's like yeah. Can she tell that it's just from like a skirmish outside and not somebody who sees her and
I mean, it sounds like it's a lot bigger than a skirmish now, but
Well-
yeah, it's been going on all day, right?
Yeah. Okay. Oh boy. So she'll sort of whistle at Ellie, just sort of like a.
Yeah, you see her and Axe Dreamer come out of he's got his visor down, seems to be in a hurry.
Ugh, he probably smells like nervous sweat.
Yeah.
Ugh. Ooh. Anyway.
See Ellie though.
Yeah. yeah. She'll do a low whistle at Ellie.
You have to do it this way. She like goes to where the whistling was.
Yeah. And when Ellie gets to her, she'll. Ninizen has been gone for too long.
Is he down there?
Yes, he went inside.
She like looks over. Is that skeleton back or is it still wrestling?
It's doing something else. There's one that's kind of like keeping people ushered to the ritual area where they've begun to do some. Looks like they're about to get ready to do some terrible things. But that bone devil went off and it was like doing something else. Like I said, it's like since from when you went in to see who was wrestling and like they're like not doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? You came back and it's kind of cleared out. There's not as many people here, or at least not as many people's kind of a generous term, but not as many soldiers and the like in the village itself. They all seem to have gone out to the different camps that are around the village to join the fight.
I can't remember very well. Did Ikki see that there was like a stairs or ladders or whatever inside the hut whenever she lifted that board up?
Oh, yeah. You knew that there's a way to get down to some caverns.
Like 1,000 freaking people in this tiny, tiny little, in this tiny house.
This TARDIS of a hut.
Yeah. Just like, oh, okay, this is a thing that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Ikki will also ask, what is happening?
There's people wrestling for stuff, and she thinks about telling her about her new friend, and then that's it.
Why are all of these people coming out of this hut? Where are they going?
I don't know.
Why the drums?
I think they're gonna have a party. It's something about cleansing. I mean, they probably need it. It's kind of very dirty down here.
Ikki doesn't understand religion, so she will take that at face value, and just like, yes, they will have to get rid of the bodies after the battle. That makes sense. And she'll look at Axe Dreamer and Ninizen has been gone. What do you think?
Well, I think if he was captured, we would know. You know, they might come after us, but he could be hurt still.
Could be dead.
Could be dead.
Good meat.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah, he's like really like, it sounds really, should we leave? Like, and it's at that point that he begins like looking around for Myrrh. He seems like, she's been gone all day. And I guess he would eventually spot Myrrh at the ritual area, right?
Yeah, I think Myrrh would be, she'd get all of her stuff almost set up. Like, she'd get her physical components there. She'd have her notes with her.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be like, the wind could blow them. I don't have a paperweight. It's fine. And then she'd look for Axe Dreamer and Ikki.
Okay.
She knows one of those two is going to be with Ellie.
The moment Axe Dreamer points her out and at that she's like at the center of whatever's happening, Ikki will like slowly look over her shoulder at Ellie. Clean.
You're like, they want you to wear a full thing, right? You got to wear the ceremonial robes. You got the thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got a fancy hat.
Mm-hmm. There's a hat.
Since when does
robes.
Myrrh clean?
I don't know. Maybe
Constantly prestidigitation.
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's like a new thing that maybe it's a new hobby.
A new hobby.
Yes.
Just stares. Ikki's going insight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Myrrh's walking over at this. So
Okay.
Just get my little dice bag real quick. No, we're having this
Ellie's
conversation,
lying.
Ellie.
Ellie's got like this new edge to Ellie.
I know.
Yeah.
She's hitting the rebellious teenager
Yeah.
phase.
Lying to her moms. Is this my D20 or is this my D? Okay.
D12 or D20? I love that game.
I rolled an 18. Let me see if I have anything in insight.
Wisdom.
I sure do. I get a +6, so that's a 24.
All right.
Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie feels that like disappointment. She sees the disappointed mom face and she feels disappointed in herself, but like still doesn't want to tell her. But then it's like, oh my god, what if she eats me or something?
Oh, you've got scary moms. It's so true.
Yeah.
You've seen Ikki eat her animal companions when they've failed her, so
Yeah. Okay, well, I went to go see people wrestle, right? And then he was there. She went to X-Streamer. And so he can vouch for me because, Myrrh told him to keep an eye on me because I tend to go away and just explore because she, like, tries to, like, extend this. and so because exploring new places is fun and, like, traveling is fun. And I like to meet new places and, like, meet people, not meet places, but also meet places. And then she cares about me, I guess. I don't know. You both do. And so then I casually ended up meeting or running into my new friend, the big scary thing. And he was very mad at that thing or person and then points at what's his face. And he said that he was going to be cleansed and that everybody was going to be cleansed. So I kind of just assumed that people were going to be cleaning. But come to think of it, maybe it wasn't that type of cleansing, even though this place is kind of really bad and like really smelly.
it is filthy, yes.
Yeah. And yeah, but maybe that's not maybe it's not cleaning. And he said, if you need anything, call my name thrice. And then I was like, I heard that was a really good band. And then we're here.
Yeah, it's like those last few sentences that like Ikki really latches onto, where it's like, oh, I thought we were going to be cleaning, which is clearly a lie. And then like a friend and like Ikki's like, oh, probably the bone devil that you were talking too much to at the beginning of the hunt. And it's like, call my name thrice. And it's like, what? We will talk to your mother.
Okay.
And she'll like make a very like pointed look at Axe Dreamer's closed visor. Just like,
The worst part is it was
He lifts it up. He's like, what do you want me to do? What
this is how you watch her.
do you want me to do?
This is what you do
She's
when
stronger
we
than I am.
we
She'll
are not
take
with.
me
Are
any day
you
of the week.
kidding
She's
me?
like come on.
Really?
I don't know how long was I stoned. It's my joints. Hurts.
Wow.
And he seems like super like, I didn't, what do you want? Come on.
Yeah.
You gotta stop that, Ikki. Like, don't look at me like that.
You cannot leave the skiff if you cannot be useful.
Nah, that's not fair, because I have plenty useful around here. Nobody touched
I'm
her.
not your mother. I don't need to be fair.
He puts his visor back down.
Yeah.
So I'm curious now. Like, we're gonna get to Ninizen, but like there is clearly a battle going on outside. You can hear the sounds of trumpets and drums. There's more arrows that have sort of like made their way into the at least to the hitting the wall and sort of the perimeter of the village, and it's pretty clear that there's like a full scale attack on the at least the north camp. That was the largest of the 3 devil camps outside the village. So as all of this is going on, you guys are sort of reunited for a minute. The ritual has started to begin. Gildon is still sort of trying to find some people to talk to. But Ninizen, you've been down in these caves for a long time. And as you slipped down that the crack in the floor, you can hear footsteps from up ahead and just some sort of like a hushed whisper echoing off the cavern walls. What's your move, Ninizen?
Well, my immediate move is so listening. Are the voices approaching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can hear the splashing, so I know they're moving.
Mhm.
How high up? You said the ceiling's lower. How high up is the place I came from?
But the one we came before was the ceilings were plenty tall, at least 15 feet, if not taller. Here it's really low. You're kind of having to squat down just a bit to walk. It's probably less than 5 feet here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have to be squatting. I'm gonna just hop back up in the fissure and Sam Fisher or whatever that dude's name is. Just brace myself against the walls of the fissure and stay there, holding slip slash. It's slip slash, right? Slip slash. Yep. And I'm going to wait. I'm wondering, hoping they don't come this way, but
they're coming this way.
Well, I mean, like up.
No, they're coming this way. They're like,
you're
getting
your.
Your
The only way?
They seem like they're heading. You don't have to wait long. They seem like they're coming straight for your hiding spot. Although they're not like, you don't get the impression that they're like, no, you're there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I'll go back up then to the level above.
Okay.
I get down. I immediately go back up because I want to know at least who they are before I let them pass and or follow them.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll then as you climb back up the last of the fissure.
The roll's been really good, Jim. Yeah, my rolls have been really good.
Oh, no good. What do you got?
I got a 10 on that stealth check.
Okay. There is you can hear one of them say something quickly and sharply, and then they try to go quiet as well. You don't hear the clang of their gear. You don't hear their footsteps much anymore. You can make me a perception test, see if you hear them in the dark. But right now, there's no light sources down here other than that dull red glow coming from near the top of this particular cavern.
That obelisk?
Yeah.
That obelisk.
Stalactite.
I got a 21 on my perception.
I mean, you could hear them. They're down at the base of where you were. They don't seem to be. They seem to be like waiting. You just sort of like hear them breathing down there. It sounds like there's many of them.
How big is the fissure?
It's not that big. You could like press you can like shimmy up it by just sort of like pressing your hands and feet against the side of it.
Is it really wide?
Yeah.
Okay, it's very wide. Okay. All right. I was going to use my decanter of endless water to just start flooding the place, but as you know.
You don't even know who it is. Like, are you?
I know.
Are you waiting on to see who it is, or what are you going to do?
My plan was to find out who it is.
Okay.
Do they sound like the other devil people that I've seen?
No. The snippets of language you've heard sound like, wasteland common.
Okay.
How long do you wait?
I am going to see if I can find a hiding spot while I'm up here, just quietly.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're long enough to find a hiding spot. All right.
Yes.
Gotcha. You can make me another stealth check if you're looking for a different hiding spot than you're in now.
Doing good with those.
A couple of minutes later, you see that there like a head pop up from the fissure. Looks like an orc.
Okay, an orc. I got a 27 by the way for stealth.
Okay.
Just an orc, huh?
They don't seem to see you. An orc. It's a collection of wastelanders, and there appear to be about a dozen of them. They all start popping up from the fissure and fanning out through the cavern.
Are they armed?
Yes, they are heavily armed.
do they look like the others, like the ones that are upstairs?
How do you mean?
Like, most of the Wastelanders that have been in town look like they've been in the employ of these devils, right?
Yeah, these do not look like that. They do not have the same equipment. All the ones you've seen in the employ of the devils are have a semblance of a uniform, and these don't seem like that at all. These seem like Wastelanders, raiders, hunters. Like, you've gotten to know them pretty well over the last few months, but that's what they look like.
I'm going to, I've got a good hiding spot.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have any kind of vantage point? Like for instance, can I say that I ran up the wall a little bit and then found like a place to stick myself?
Yeah, I mean, there's like these caverns have plenty of hiding places in that regard. Yeah, so you're looking like a place that's slightly elevated, would give you a bit of chance to see. So,
well, then I'm going to like get up there, and then I'm going to use the message cantrip or my psychic message ability and ask them, "Who are you?"
Which one? Like, you look like find a leader or something. Looks like there's 8 of them that are warrior types and 4 of them that seem less well armed.
If
you only have a moment to talk to any of the warriors, it looks like they're headed towards the entrance.
Okay, one of the non-warriors then.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ask them who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You get a. Your reply you get is, "Who are you to ask questions? This is our home. Who are you?"
I will respond with, just a traveler.
Traveler, are you with the fiends?
No. Are you?
No. And then you hear them yell out, like not yell, but like just call out to show yourself.
I am not a charisma character, so I'm going to have.
Neither am I. Embrace it. Lean into it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna like bounce down, hippie hop off the walls.
Yeah.
Hit the ground, and I'm just gonna gently set my Velociraptor down.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just gonna stand up and just like look at him. I probably once I got in the cavern, I probably took my mask and hood off.
Okay.
So yeah.
The 4 of them look about. They appear to be wastelanders, right? Goblinoids and orcs. They all bear the trappings of spell components and arcane foci. And one of them clutches a sort of a book to his chest. And they maintain their distance from you. Like they try to stay as far away from you as they can, but in sort of hushed tones. How did you get down here? And who are you?
I'm trying to think of something cool to say, but maybe that will reflect in my 9 charisma. Like I said, just a traveler. But I think that we mean to do mischief.
Mischief?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Are you here with the fiends then, or you're not?
No.
Then, well, if you're a friend, then we would take your help, but
What is your goal?
The 4 of them seem kind of like nervous to be talking to you. We we simply seek to get our village back.
I would like that as well.
Why would you help us?
I don't know the answer to that.
They seem like they're kind of mistrustful.
That's totally fine. I think they'll give a better response by saying, "I don't like to see the small harmed by the weak."
Well, if you're if you're if you're true and honest, we'll take your help. But and around that time, you can hear fighting coming from closer towards the entrance, as you hear the distinct sounds of combat in the cave that would be closer, the one closer towards where you were. The four of the arcanists here, basically like our warriors could use assistance if that sword is, you know how to use it.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Then yeah, I think I would just start moving forward then.
All right then. In that case, it appears as though the 8 of them that were up ahead have engaged the devils who are keeping prisoner there. Free to join in the combat as you like. Right now, it seems as though they've just begun, and neither side has gained any advantage as they're still sort of sparring and fighting and the like. But there's 8 of these wastelanders, and then 3 of these devils, one of which has the extra grafted arms grafted onto it. So we kind of, I think now is a good time to sort of switch to initiative order as the fighting that's going on outside is starting to affect the village, and everyone up top begins to feel something. It's a good way to put it. A shift in the magic around the village. Let's get some. I guess let's continue. How do you guys feel about continuing with the fast and slow initiative instead of rolling?
That's fine for me.
I'm getting some tips. All right. In that case, anybody taking a fast action?
Not if Ellie's just feeling weird.
How close am I to the conflict?
Myrrh just wants to tell them something, so that'll be a slow action, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Gildon, you'd have to get up on the walls to get a really good vantage point. It sounds like towards the north, it has gotten very close to the village. It sounds like you hear people fighting outside the walls. That far.
I'm gonna just flame strike outside the walls indiscriminately. Y'all dead. No.
You're not going to hit anyone important. If you do, they're immune to fire.
That's true.
Right. Half of a flame strike.
Gosh darn you, Goblin. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to summon an Arcane Eye, and I'm going to send an Arcane Eye outside and just kind of, boop, I'm going to float it up, and it's going to take a look.
Okay, so Gildon's casting a spell. Anybody else doing a fast action? Doesn't sound like it. All right. And then all of my people, no one relevant at the moment is acting. So we'll keep this going like this. So your Arcane Eye reveals quite a bit. It looks as though a group of the Wastelanders that have attacked, and they've attacked en masse at the North Camp. But they have broken through. There's kind of 2 ways to get up to the hill that the village sits on. There's the main road that y'all came up, which was heavily fortified and nice and wide road. And then there's like a rocky path that you could use to get up, but your skiff wouldn't make it. That was guarded, and it seems as though the Wastelanders have overrun those guards, and the fighting has reached the north walls of the village.
Do I recognize these Wastelanders at all? Or are they just sort of just standard?
How far north does Gildon travel? Like
Gildon travels all over, and he lived in the ways for so many years. It's one of those things that you just never know when you're going to see a familiar face. With that said, if these are
these are Wastelanders, and it's entirely possible that those of you who are well traveled, might have some familiarity with either them or people around here. This particular region of the wasteland has a greater density of like settlements. So yeah, it's entirely up to you if you see someone you recognize, but there are Wastelanders attacking.
Well, that's my only action. It's like I saw him, and that's that. Pull that little eyeball out.
Yeah, it seems as though the fighting's pretty evenly matched to the north, but the Wastelanders are giving it all they've got. And like I said, at least in this particular portion, they've reached the walls of the village. Anyone doing a slow action then, we could go ahead and resolve those.
Yeah, Myrrh was going to... she was walking over to talk to Bekorthik and Ikki, and so she would walk over and be like, Bekorthik, please get the skiff and have it somewhere nearby in case we need to make a quick exit. Ikki, Ellie, I'm glad you're doing all right, Ellie. No, you'd be fine, Ikki. I'm going to be officiating a ritual. It shouldn't take too terribly long, but it is very important that I complete this and it not get interrupted.
Do we need to fight people?
I mean, if you want to, I will not say no, but please don't fight anyone in the ritual ring unless they are interrupting.
Ellie's just so confused. Like, why do I feel weird? And why...
Myrrh, why are we doing this?
You do not have to partake in the ritual. I have specifically... She pulls out some paperwork.
Myrrh, why are you doing this?
Myrrh, she's the new Gildon. Oh!
Myrrh's been doing this a long time. Myrrh's been doing this for a very long time. I am doing this. She's going to kind of... she can't drop into Infernal. So she's just going to kind of get a little closer and say, this would be a future benefit, I believe. It's a bit much now, but remember when we were looking for you, we were lost in hell, and we had to figure out where you are, pull a couple of favors. I am repaying a favor. However, I'm repaying a favor and then some. So in return, I can see much benefit in our future.
It seems like a high price.
There's a cost for everything. I mean, not everything is cheap.
I don't like this.
That's what that devil thing told me too once.
Were you speaking with devils?
No.
She was speaking with devils.
I look at Bekorthik.
He's just
Poor
like,
guy.
for you, he's on his way to the skip.
Yeah.
Of course, he's like faster.
he can feel the look as he's walking.
Yeah.
It just gets a little faster.
Her mom gave the same look, just couldn't stand it.
Yeah, just slides on his like tidal wave of nervous sweat.
Uh-huh. Again, I've made sure you are not personally involved. However, this is something that I would like to do before we drop Gildon off at the demon place. And also, the Fellowship wanted to know what's going on here, and I can tell them exactly what has happened after this. I will have top-tier information.
On the one
I'm
hand,
not the person who does this. Someone else will who does not have our best interests in mind.
on the one hand, Ikki hates the idea of this. It's like, I don't know what's happening, but there's devilry involved. And on the other hand, Ikki sees this as payment for rescuing her from hell. So it's like, I will permit this.
I will permit this. And it's true. If I do not do this, they will find someone else who will, who does not have our best interests in mind.
Ikki will take her action, though, and sort of... she will... I don't know if this has material components, and I don't think it does. No. But she will sort of pull, like, a little bag of, like, animal bones out, and she'll whisper into it and... conjure animals, and I would like 4 beasts of challenge rating half.
All right, we'll see what we got.
Myrrh will go back to the ritual circle, but Grethic's getting a skiff and staying nearby. Please don't interrupt. Gotta do a thing.
They've already begun their blasphemous rites, with which Zariel seems to be just thrilled and also physically in pain by witnessing.
Very conflicted.
Once the bodies are no longer needed, they're stuffed in the cauldrons, where there's immediately sort of like this pale green fumes that begin to emanate from them. This goes on all night as their screams and the violence done there fuels this dark magic that will turn the Celestial into this fiend. Let's see for beasts real quick. You were looking for 4 of CR 1/2.
Woo woo.
Let's check this out.
Yeah.
And but at the moment, it seems as though like there's some guards around there who are keeping an eye on the ritual. But you guys have the run of the village mostly to yourself. There seems to be very few devils that are there. Goodness. All right, there are a lot of these. Let's see. Go ahead and give me a D20 roll for Ikki.
Yes, I will do that.
Lisa sent me this new dice bag. Ooh, that's so cute.
I know, it's super cute. She got it from MagFest. Let me see. I got a 15 on that dice roll. Were you talking to me?
No. Oh,
Cool.
15? Oh, yes,
Yeah.
15. I guess I was practicing something. Yes?
Yes. Thank you.
Ooh. All right. So 4 creatures arrive that appear to be they're sort of like quadrupeds. They're very large. You could ride them if you wanted, but they look more like some sort of combination of a skinless horse and a bird. So they've got kind of like talons and claws, look like they'd be good on really rocky ground, but their build is definitely that of speed and the like.
I choose to imagine them as bird-like, but with horse mouth.
Yeah, ooh, yeah.
Yes.
It's like with sort of like metallic like feathers, but
Yeah.
then creepy
Oh,
horse
I'm
mouth.
so excited.
Mhm.
What should I stat those at?
You use a war horse, and they do slashing instead of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so I'm gonna get 4 of those.
And they have
Okay,
AC,
thanks.
AC 13 instead of 11.
Add. I got them. I'll put them in the creatures section.
Oh, there you go.
I'm very excited. Okay.
So Ikki has summoned these creatures here. There's all sorts of things going on. We're Ninizen, or does anybody else up top want to take an action or just do something? You guys had a while where you just sort of like talking and hashing things out. Ninizen, you are down there. These 8 warriors have begun to engage with these 3 fiends. The fiends have formed sort of a triangle, their backs to each other, with the 6-armed one sort of pointed towards the caverns and bearing the brunt of the assault. 2 of the Wastelanders have like actually gone up and engaged in melee. The others kind of like hanging back, throwing javelins, trying to move into position, that kind of thing.
Okay, so this weird triptych thing that the 2 arms are holding.
Mm-hmm. Well, now it's sort of like it's more like dangling from a chain around its neck.
Okay. What is it made out of? Can I tell?
It seems like cast iron.
Cast iron. What would damage cast iron more, bludgeoning or slashing? Probably bludgeoning.
Like bludgeoning, yeah, certainly. I mean, it's got joints, hinges. I mean, it's a thing of craft, right? It's not just a hunk of metal. There's parts to it.
Okay. I'm good. This is really silly. I'm going to engage this thing.
The big one?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm jumping in there with the other 2, and I'm going to use my agile parry. So I'm going to make 1 weapon attack, and then I'm going to make another. I'm going to make some other unarmed attacks.
Cool. AC 17.
AC 17. Ooh, that's not. Okay, but with my weapon attack, I am going to strike the triptych with Shatter Spike, which auto crits on objects.
Oh,
So,
okay. I forgot that you have a object destroying sword.
I do.
In that case, if you're critting with it, then you're going to just.
Yeah, and I do hit unless the AC is particularly high on it. I got a 22.
So it's like if you hit, you crit kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And because I'm auto critting, I'm going to use the class feature where I can add some damage to that.
Gotcha.
One with the
Fun
blaze.
times.
If you hit with we can spend 1.
Really like the Kensai.
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, and of course two-handed. So
Okay.
Let me roll. Well, I don't need to roll.
No.
It'll be
I don't know.
20.
What do you do? What happens when you hit this thing with your sword? Because it's like it's tough, but it's also not like armor or anything. It's clearly like meant to be carried. It's not, in you.
Mhm.
So it's like cut it in half. Does it knock it out?
Well, also I can choose the damage type, so I'm going to choose bludgeoning, and I want it to just like, if not completely shattered, then a big chunk of it break off.
Okay.
And break it from the chain so that it falls.
All right. So yeah, as you hit it, there's like a flash as you're sort of like you focus your power into your blade, and it snaps off from the chain at least, or breaks the whole thing and goes clattering across the floor. It looks like it's been dented and bent up as well, like someone punched it.
Ha.
All right.
And then I'm also using agile parry, so my other stuff is better. And now I'm going to hit it twice.
Okay.
One of those misses, the other more than hits. Okay. So, in addition, takes 7 damage.
All right.
And I overcome resistance, magic resistance. Whatever.
All right.
My kicks are magic, Jim. Karate chop.
Excellent. So Denizen is engaged, and the Wastelanders sort of like look at you and seem confused with the fact that you're fighting with them. At the very least, they're not like that confused, and take advantage of your leading the attack to join in the fray. Anybody taking a fast action this go around, and we're not. These rounds are more for our own benefit than like a set amount of time.
I got a question about how a spell might work, because language of the spell isn't very clear. So here's what I'm thinking. From my current position, even down below where I'm at, I kind of want to attack a Wastelander with Guiding Bolt. Because it doesn't say I need to see them. They just have to be in range, and if I can't see them, it's a ranged spell attack. There's nothing that says I can't cause it to arc. And there's nothing that says it is projected from me. It's just light goes to them. I've never thought of the spell this way. I was just thinking, man, I wish it was like Dragon Ball and I could like bend my key blast. But I was just like, I don't know. But the fact that they can't see me means it would just be a straight roll. I don't know. I was just looking at the spell. I was like, maybe they've probably clarified that somewhere, someplace. But I don't know. It doesn't say it's a line.
No, yeah, it does. It's not. I mean, I don't
know.
I don't.
Regardless, we know
using it in the way that you're using it. I might.
My
say,
eye can see them.
Well, if you're looking through your eye, then
it's one of those things where I'm just going to be like, all right, part the clouds.
I'm curious. For the purpose of this, you can do that. You've got arcane eye. You're sort of like.
I don't know. Otherwise, I'm just going to slowly walk towards them and just be like, "Here you go, you cowards."
Right. So your Gildon's attacking the Wastelanders.
Yes.
All
right. Natural 18 plus 6 would be 24.
That's a hit.
Yeah.
Are we working at cross purposes?
Probably. Are we? Who are you fighting?
Devils.
Oh, I misheard you. Well, we might as well keep them on their toes. So I'm rolling. This is pretty good. So, well,
I mean, like, Wastelanders like us, devils. I don't know why we choose the devils to fight with.
I'm sorry, not every Wastelander is good. I've been nice to these devils. I've been teaching them things. I did 35 points of damage.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah. One of them, like, it's smote. Right?
Right next to Ninizen, too. Just...
Here. Well, Ninizen's in the caves. Maybe that's why. No one else can see what Ninizen's doing.
There's this glowing charred remains next to him.
Yeah, that's for sure. No one knows that Denizen has engaged the devils, including the devils, other than these 3.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody's out of range of telepathy. You... All right, Gildon has made his attack. Anybody else doing just one thing?
Ellie's still very confused, and she's kind of conflicted whether to fight or not.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just going to stand there and like look at everybody and kind of stay out of the way.
Yeah.
Unless somebody actually tries to attack her, she probably won't attack anybody.
Ikki will encourage Ellie to climb onto one of the bird horses. Just like, we don't stay in most towns very long. We should be ready to make a quick escape.
Oh, okay.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
He looks at the bird thing.
Ikki will give her like a rotten apple core.
Me?
Yeah, to feed the bird.
Do you tell her it's for the bird?
No, Ikki does not say so. Hopefully Ellie doesn't eat it, but if she does, then she learns quick.
Ooh, yeah.
This is... I'm not hungry.
Ikki feeds a bird.
Okay. As all this is going on, the apple core, they're sort of, I mean, they're just really waiting on your command as they mill about.
Do they nuzzle?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're all right.
Are they drooly?
They're
Do they
sweet to
drool?
each other. You know,
Do they drool a little because they don't have lips?
They drool like mildly caustic saliva.
So stoked on the drooling.
Oh,
Right.
I'm so excited. That's so
It
cute.
drips
Yeah.
off their metallic chin feathers.
I know that I'm talking about it too much, but do they have hooves or do they have like little claw feet?
They've got claws. They've got like bird claws instead of hooves.
That's so cute.
This whole time, dealing with these, watching Myrrh officiate and sort of seeing Gildon up on the wall. There's a few other defenders who are up on the walls fighting now. But you can feel a chill wind creep up your spine as it begins to whip around here. And Nenizen, you can hear from the cavern you just left sort of haunting voices fill the cavern. And in between sword swipes and these devils like cursing at you as the melee goes on. And I forgot to roll for them, but they attacked. You can hear that there's some sort of conversation going on in the cavern behind you that with voices you don't recognize that you had a chat with. And those of you up top, a wind has picked up and seems to be swirling throughout the village. It is cold and gives you just a sense of dread as it whips about. So anybody taking a slow turn?
I'm
Is-
ritualing.
Ritualing?
Getting on a horse count as a slow turn?
I mean, if that's all you want to do, that could have been resolved as a fast turn. But if you want to like get on and move it and then like or do something or like ride it out to see if there's battle somewhere or
Yeah, how's this ritual looking? This ritual thing. Is it looking like maybe we should leave?
it's looking like a snuff film is what it's looking like.
Cool.
It's looking, I'll let the viewers and players imagine what blasphemous rites that would offend the moral sensibilities of an angel are, and the devils are doing that and everything else.
What if, Ikki's gonna be like, what if we just skip? And how far can these conjured animals be away from me?
I think they can travel as far as the spell will allow them. I mean, you get like what, 10 minutes for conjure animals, or is it?
I get an hour.
Oh, that's right. It is an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I think they're here for an hour as long as you concentrate.
We're gonna leave one for Myrrh, and then we're gonna.
Okay.
We're gonna kind of.
Dipperoo.
We're gonna.
All right.
Same.
I'm a bounce because this is terrible, Jim. This is terrible.
I told you, it's the
I'm
devils.
stressed.
Like,
Ellie thinks it's really cool, like the style of fighting, and like she thinks it's so badass.
Harboro's swooping by overhead. He's got like a giant fork.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah.
Right,
She's just like if this was an anime and it was like a close up of Ellie, as soon as like she saw that, like, man, like twinkling, sparkling eyes, like
Mhm.
like she thinks it's so cool and is definitely gonna have him as a friend, but she's not gonna tell her mom's.
Yeah, and
She's
oh
like-
no,
yeah.
Ellie's into bad boys.
I got you a nice boy.
Yeah, we
It's
got you
not
a
like
nice
that.
boy.
Doesn't seem like that.
Okay, no blasphemous ritual now. We can make him a bad boy.
Friends. We're just
Right.
friends.
So Ikki is out the gate, like
Ikki is also leading Ellie's bird horse out
Okay.
the gate. So we're gonna be slowed down because I'm leading another horse too, just in case we run into Gildon or Ninizen. I only got 4 horses, so
Yeah. So we don't know where Ninizen's at. You can see Gildon on the walls, or rather, like near where the north wall is. He's not actually on the wall. You're
Arms
kind of
spread like Moses. Sorry.
Yeah, he seems he's being Gildon. Bekroithig is at the skiff and can get it working enough to get it moving, but he doesn't have Myrrh's knack for this thing. He's always bumping it into shit. And so he's trying with the skiff.
I don't think any of us that are now at the skiff area can drive
It's an
this.
intelligence check to get this thing.
Kroisik knows how to drive it, but I don't know if he
Yeah.
starts it that often.
No, I
Drive,
mean,
yes. Park, no.
Yeah.
I have a
He's
9
still working through his
intelligence. That's gonna be a
proficiency,
negative.
acquiring his proficiency.
He's got 45
Is that his
days
learner's
worth of
permit?
time.
He's got +1.
He's got,
He's like half proficiency. So yeah, he's
Trouble with the
trying.
clutch.
He'll get it down.
Trouble with the clutch.
Don't talk to me while I'm doing it. You know, you gotta back it up. Anyway, but he might. How much does he want to piss off Myrrh versus how much does he want to get out of here? He follows Ikki and Ellie out.
100% better.
Yeah, he follows them out. And you know, there's the village is empty. There's only 2 buildings in here. Like it's not like you guys are trying to sneak out. So Gildon can see it, Myrrh can see it. You guys are bolting.
Myrrh sees the skiff leaving, and she's just like, she doesn't even cast Sabotage.
Like, we're gonna go real slow because, like, Ikki knows how it feels to ditch someone.
She does. Ikki and Ellie, she's like, that's fine. I ordered Bekroithig to bring the skiff up here. Like, that's the thing. It's the lawful in her going.
Mhm. Oh, so I misunderstood. He left the skiff here. He got on the.
Oh, he got on the horse. Oh, well then, yeah, that's
He
fine.
knows how. He's much.
That's
more
fine. He brought the skip.
Sorry.
I don't
He
have
got
to.
on the horse. Perfect.
Mhm.
That's
He
fine.
didn't give the horse an apple, though. Does the horse like him?
He's proficient in animal handling.
Whatever.
I'm gonna say yes.
It's a mutant horse. I don't care.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. I only get like one thing, and that's horsies. Okay.
Oh, I got the skiff, so I'm good. I don't shoot daggers at him. I'm actually
Yeah.
like good. He can protect Ellie, Nikki.
Yeah, so he's just gonna leave the skiff here. He can't drive it. Certainly not in any kind of combat situation. There is let's get to Ninizen, because that's sort of Ikki, Ellie, and Myrrh's doing that thing. Gildon's gone. Ninizen, the battle rages.
Okay. So I've destroyed this, the triptych thing, which is like seeing what it could do. That was probably their first impulse, I think, to bash that thing. So 1, success. 2, let's try to end this. I'm going to make 2. I'm going to make 2 attacks with my shatter spike.
All right. Hey, you're attacking the 6-armed one?
Yes.
All right.
Again, one definitely misses. The other, natural 18 plus. Right. That's 11 damage, and then also let me. Okay, I'm going to use the bonus action to make an unarmed attack for an additional 10 damage.
Do it.
So I do those things, and I think that's all my actions.
Okay.
I'm just like whipping around. It's super kung fu.
Did you have the 2 unarmed attacks?
Just the one. Well, I didn't flurry of blows. I just did.
Gotcha. Okay.
Probably
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I did 11 slashing and then 10 bludgeoning.
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you. So you're pressing your advantage against this larger one. It looks as though the battle right now is going against one of the other devils, as the Wastelanders are kind of like focused on that, while a pair of them are tying up the other Bone Devil. This one on you, though, with its sort of like diesel punk grafted arms, belches out some sort of smoke as the arms whirl and gears screech against metal. And it makes its attacks towards Nizen. So let's see here. What is your...
Can I? Is it actually spewing forth some smoke?
Yeah, it appears like, yeah.
I'm as free action. Can I hold my breath?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can do that.
And so my first attack, I rolled a 19. It's going to end up being a 30 to hit, and then the other one is, I don't know that that's really low. 15 to hit.
15 will miss.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then in that case, it slashes at you with one of its metallic arms and does a 15 slashing damage to Nitzen. And the smoke that's sort of pouring out of it is getting thicker and thicker as it sort of pools around the group of you. That's it for down there. Nobody's really around to sort of hear what's going on down in the cavern.
Hey Jim, real quick, those voices that I heard, were those the 4 casters?
No, you didn't recognize the haunting voices that you heard. Didn't sound like any of the casters that you were speaking with earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like fill the cavern with a kind of distant voice, as if from another world.
Great.
Yeah. And as Nitzen continues his battle against this creature, you start seeing spirits rise up from the ground, from the cavern, and seem to pass through the cavern on their way up. Those of you in the village literally like look away 1 minute, and the next, the top wall of the village is ringed by ghosts standing at attention. They appear facing outward, but very quickly turn to face inward as they observe what's going on inside the village. Anybody taking a fast turn?
Yes. Whew. All right. I'm gonna be drifting that arcane eye that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be trying to spot and find, try to examine, it's trying to identify the root cause of exactly what's going on. I'm trying to use what little discernment Gildon has to try to figure out what's the motivation behind a full-on frontal assault to Devil Village. It's like...
Yeah, it's...
This is risky. There would be great casualties. Is it hit and run? Is it a decoy? What's going on?
They are outnumbered. And at this point in the battle, like the infernal cohorts are starting to form up and like the counterattack is beginning. So it looks as though there was some sort of like massive frontal attack that carried them forward nearly to the walls of the village. But that from your vantage point, they're outnumbered and now mired in a very nasty melee at the north camp.
They
it's
lost
like
a bet. Yeah, like I'm trying to figure it out. Like it doesn't make sense. It's sort of like you come all this way, you're outnumbered, you're just gonna die here. Maybe it has some religious significance, like you go to Devil Town to die and your spirit walks through. I don't know. But yeah, there's not much of a purpose to attack this place in the manner that they have, unless they're all under mind control from Ling, like some people we know. So
it looks like a group of them are trying to sneak into the village and at that north, where they broke through at the north.
How many are trying to sneak in?
Looks like the first group of them is around a dozen or so, like a rather small group of them.
Okay, so I guess I can't really do this. How close would they be to Gildon?
You're probably at least within 60 feet of you.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Gildon's going to try to hold person on 4 of them.
Okay.
Stop! Halt!
Let's see what happens. Anybody else taking a fast turn?
I figure I might as well go Gandalf this episode.
Yeah.
raising light from the heavens. And
Right. Looks like one of them passed. 3 of them failed for the hold person. So as they're like coming over the wall, you can see them as they attempt to scale it. 3 of them seem paralyzed there.
Yeah, that made my eye go away, but yeah, I might as well hold those guys.
Okay. Nobody else does fast. Then no other. Actually, my guy that is fighting. Actually, no, he's making 2 attacks, so it's a slow turn. Slow turns. Players first.
Ritualing.
Ritualing. All right.
Flying away, thinking that these creatures are adorable as soon as they started drooling.
Right? That's the best part.
Just like frothing.
They're so cute. Is it froth?
Eventually, it'll become.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if any of you guys ever saw Brothers Grimm with Matt Damon in it and everything. The best part of that movie was the horse that had like all the cobwebs in their mouth.
Ooh, yeah.
I loved it. I was like,
I really like that.
if horses were like that, I'd like them more.
Yes,
yeah. I will knock an arrow and hold an action after doing that for like anybody who comes at the horses. Like, okay. I don't care if y'all kill each other, don't come for me.
Mm-hmm. So the question I have for those of you fleeing, and Axe Streamer's right behind you, for Ikki and Ellie on the horses, are y'all like hauling ass out? Are you slow walking it?
We're slow walking with purpose. We're not like galloping out because we don't really want to like leave everybody, but we also not like super excited about like being here because this seems terrible.
Okay, so you're the path that you're going exits out the west side of the village and sort of like a ramp that goes south. You know that one of the camps of the devils protects the base of this walkway. It's the one you came through getting up here. So that's sort of what's up ahead of you as you're going down the ramp there. Yeah. So you basically have like a ready to action to attack anyone that gets too close.
Anyone who like gets close with like hostile intent, because as far as Ikki knows, the devils think we're cool. Right. And Myrrh is like doing them a super solid right now. So shouldn't be any devils trying to attack us. So we should be able to just ride straight through. But if somebody like grabs on Ellie's reins or something, or like comes at us with like weapons brandished or something, I'm gonna put an arrow in their face.
Yeah.
Say mix up my axe.
Yeah.
Same with the axe. Okay. So and then Ninizen, you're continuing your fight.
Short thing. I swung twice, missed, and I'm going to take a bonus action to take the dodge action.
Okay.
Do patient defense. And I'm going to hold my ground.
Holding your ground. All right. Mm-hmm. The battle rages on in the caverns as one of the bone devils looks severely injured as the wastelanders have like dealt a grievous injury to one of its legs. Your fight against the six-legged one, or sorry, the six-armed one is going well until the ghosts who are passing through the cavern begin to swarm over the devils and fight them. And you can see that some of the ghosts bear spectral swords and are getting up. You're the only one really who's this close to them right now, except for maybe Gildon. They are all human. Every last one of them appears to be human. They're wearing armor that Ninizen wouldn't be able to place at all. But Gildon at least knows is very archaic armor. And those of you on the surface see them step down, sort of like float from their places at the top of the wall and begin to attack those who are performing the ritual, any devils inside the village, as ghosts swarm about and defend their village itself. So that is my slow turn, which means Ikki and Ellie are on their way out. You kind of see this. You see them appear at the top. You see them disappear down into the village. Ninizen, you see them attack these, and Myrrh, a ghost, is headed towards you and is attempting to attack. So, get that real quick, and then I'll take the rest of my turn. All right. The first one on Myrrh is going to be. Where am I? Nice. What is your AC, Myrrh?
15.
I think I'm going to hit with that. As it, that's 17 to hit. So it strikes at Myrrh with a spectral sword, and
Do I see it coming?
Yeah, you see it sort of disappear from the wall and then reappear about 5 feet from you.
I know if I can do an action without disturbing the ritual, because I'm just overseeing it.
You're sort of overseeing it. You're making sure that all the the proper forms and everything take place. So you can cast non-concentration based spells, and your concentration is taking up maintaining the sort of the ritual.
Cool.
Anything else is up for grabs.
Gotcha. All right. I will not chronal duplicate and let them take care of it then.
Gotcha.
I was going to say, because I have to be actively doing it. I was going to concentrate on chronal duplicate and let them handle it. But if I can actively deal with it as long as I concentrate, that's fine.
Right, yeah.
In that case, can I reaction cast shield?
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
My ring of spell storing that I've had since forever, but I've never gotten to use it.
The spectral sword bounces off the shield. Then there is fight down in the cavern. I'm going to roll for my guys, and then Ellie and Ikki. There is someone out in the wasteland who is targeting anyone that's leaving the village as hails of arrows strike out at the three of you trying to leave. No, Denizen's AC is probably, I don't know,
It's
19?
It's 17. It's 17, but I have you have disadvantage to hit me because of the dodge action.
Oh, yes. Okay, in that case, no, I missed for the first check. And
that's what I like.
Missed for the second. And then for Kroithwick, Ikki, and Ellie. It looks like Ikki is not hit, but Ellie is hit for 6 piercing, and Kroithwick is hit as well as a volley of arrows comes in and strikes at the ramp. There's flyers all around. There's devils flying up in the air, as well as what you think you take to be like bird people, wastelanders, Arakakra and the like, wheel about the air around here. Sounds of battle are from all around. Anyone taking a fast turn?
I am.
What?
Gildon's gonna take one. What's the question from?
What? Do I see what hit me?
You see just arrows from the dark. It's you're not really sure what it is. They look like hunter's arrows from Wastelander, but it's no one who like came up and hit you. It's like someone just shooting at your general direction.
Mm-hmm. And do I kind of see the general direction that it came from?
Yep.
Yeah.
Came from the west. Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Gildon's taking a fast action. Anybody else?
I'll also take a fast action.
Okay. Y'all go?
No, for me.
No. Okay.
I might. I think Ellie will for sure.
If you're just doing one thing, that's
yeah. Do the conjured animals, did they get hit?
Let's see. I will go ahead and just roll sort of once. Yes, one of them gets hit.
Okay.
Which one?
Well, there's only 3 of them out there, right? Because there's one
and then Myrrh has one.
Right. In that case, it's a. I'll roll real quick. One of them takes 5 damage from a thing. It is going to be Kroithwick's mount.
Okay.
As he is hit and his mount is hit.
Does he cry?
No, he's all right.
Wait, no, not for Kroithwick. The
horse.
The horse.
Yeah. The horse is like, why are you shooting at me? What grotesque paradise was I taken from to enter this horrific battle? All right.
If yes.
Then it's on.
It just screams. It's just like
it doesn't like it.
Horrible echoing scream.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they are specifically war horses, so they're not like shy about battle.
Mm-hmm.
So fast turns.
Gildon, after you.
All right. So Gildon squeals at the 3 that are frozen on the wall and goes, "Ah! Burglars!" And then the clouds open and a bunch of fiery bugbears and radiant goblins. They look kind of like Baloo and Gildon's rain from the sky, smashing into them. They automatically fail their dex save because they are paralyzed, and they take 42 points of fire and radiant damage.
Sure do. And then one
That's a
of them
flame
is
strike.
I need to save. Oh, I got a 19 on my save. So the one who wasn't held passes.
Yeah, I just assumed he was probably outside of the radius, but maybe he was in it. I don't know.
He's kind of jumping down. Yeah, but those three are toast.
Yep.
All right. You lost track of the one that jumped down, but these were not the only group. This were like the closest group to you. You can see other groups that are making their way over the walls.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably goblin vanish soon. I don't know. I'm trying to impress these devils. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe if the devils speak well of me to Myrrh, and they're like, that goblin was awesome.
That's true. That's true. And it looks like there's a group of them being led by Arbros flying back into the village. You can hear them as they swoop in. All they're doing is moving. So they land near where the ritual's taking place to help defend it and join the battle against the ghosts that have swarmed about the ritual area. Anybody else? Fast turns? Ikki?
Yeah. Ikki will yell at the 3 mounts that are beside her, and she'll say, defend them, and then kind of ride back like towards the ritual, because she did see some of those ghosts riding up there. So the mounts can follow my verbal commands with no action on my part. They just do it. So those mounts will now do what they can to make sure that Ellie and Axtreamer get to safety, and she'll turn around with her bow and go back to the ritual.
Okay.
Gotta get Myrrh.
Yeah.
It was a lot different before Ghost showed up.
Yeah. So was Ellie going to take a fast turn too?
Yes. So as soon as Ikki says that, I can't control my horse.
Yeah, it obeys Ikki's commands.
Yeah.
Okay, so am I moving away from whoever shot me?
Yeah. Well, you're moving you're not necessarily moving away from them. You'd have to get down to the ramp before you'd be able to go find out where they shot you, before you go pursue them.
I imagine that the horses would run 60 feet in whatever direction was safest.
Yeah, they'll run down to the ramp and then probably further south. There's nothing really there's the opposite of the sounds of fighting to the south.
So would Ellie kind of think that it's far away from where she is right now?
You would guess that it's close-ish. I mean, if you're familiar with the kinds of weapons that these wastelanders have, these bows are not like super long bows that can shoot a big, great range. They're close.
Myrrh's bow.
Right. Yeah, they're close.
Okay. So as soon as this horse starts to kind of turn away and go to safety, Ellie's just gonna stand on it and then jump off and then run towards the to where I think the general direction of these things are.
Okay.
So it's gonna look real cool.
Yeah. Give me athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
Oh, sure. Athletics, yeah. Nat 20. Hell.
Westbrook rolled a 1 on his perception to notice, and he riding. He rides south with the rest of the horses. Ellie,
Yes.
you perfect. You're off.
Yeah.
You're in this camp at the base of the ramp here. This was the cavalry camp for the devils, and so there's a lot of wastelanders riding similar mounts to yours. Most of them have gone out and joined the big battle, so it's kind of empty here. But you could easily travel to where you think someone shot you from.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And while this arrow is still kind of, maybe it was my arm. I don't know. Wherever it's sticking, I'm gonna keep it there until I find this person.
Nice.
It's just you could see pre-rage, kind of bubbling inside. She's not raging yet.
Gotcha. More flyers swoop in, and a group of devils lands near the ritualists, as well as some flying wastelanders who are harassing them. It is time for slow turns. PCs first.
Okay, so first things first, we've got these ghosts attacking this bone devil.
Yeah.
So he's kind of occupied, right?
He seems to be, yeah. There are at least 3 of these spirits who are attacking this one alone, but it looks like there's a lot of ghosts here.
I'm going to disengage, and can I see the forecasters?
You can hear them in the cavern back from where you were. Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, I'm going to move back to them and see if they know what's going on.
Yeah, they're standing in a square. They're forming like a ritual circle, and between them are these just what seem to be like pale glowing runes that they've like inscribed on the floor in chalk. They've got ritual, sort of arcane focus items set about them, and they are in the process of channeling and casting their own spell.
Ninizen doesn't really know anything about the arcane, but does it seem like maybe they're causing the ghosts to rise?
That's a fair assumption. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making that assumption, actually. It's kind of just saying it in a question.
Mm-hmm. So you've disengaged.
Mm-hmm.
Moved. You've got an action you can take.
Yeah.
Unless can you bonus action disengage? I always forget with monks.
I have to spend a key.
Gotcha.
In which case, I'm going to make my way towards topside. If it looks like the ghosts and these rebels have these devils taken care of.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, for one, there's still none of the Wastelanders have fallen yet, although several of them are quite injured. But the arrival of the ghosts shifted things in the Wasteland's favor. If you want to, you can leave this fight without really anybody pursuing you because all the combatants are occupied.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. So, you sort of quick poke your head in, and then you begin making your way back up the staircase. Who else for slow turns?
Myrrh's got a ghost on her, and I'm gonna stab it. I'm gonna pull out my molecular daggers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to shank this ghost a couple times.
Right,
at least once.
16.
Oh, I don't think the first one's gonna hit. Math. 13?
13's gonna miss.
Okay, so I'll use my bonus action to stab. Well, that's much better. That is going to be a 17.
Yeah, 17's gonna hit.
Okay, and I'm going to also use one of my inspiration to make this a Psychic Blades attack, which got bumped up at level 10 to 5d6.
Nice.
So, I need a d4. Another d4. There you go. All right. Ooh, okay. So that's going to be, as far as dagger damage goes, math. Gosh, why can't I math? 5 points of piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then 6, 12, 17, 24 points of psychic damage.
Nice. Being a ghost, it doesn't necessarily react, but you can tell mostly it's the psychic damage that sort of like disrupts the spectral form of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Myrrh, you can see as well that this is a human who seems just utterly enraged, just a mask of fury as it does battle.
She's not even like, she's like concentrated. She's like, go, turn it up.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll use my other hand.
The ghosts attack the ritual, and you can see at least one of the other ritualists fall. One of the not the guy that you intimidated, but like his dude. And they're attacking the devils mostly. None of the victims are being attacked. And so a melee sort of breaks out in and around where the ritual is. Gildon, you can hear this as well. And you can also hear Arbros sort of roar as he begins fighting ghosts. You might take a fast turn?
How close am I to the ghosts?
I mean, there's ghosts all around you. So far, they've ignored you. They have not attacked Gildon.
All right.
You need to move to at least get to where the action is.
Yeah, I've been pretty. Okay, so they'd be about a move action away. I think then I might be pretty. I I think I might be good to do a fast action.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to turn the ghosts. So I believe they're going to have to make themselves a little save, a little DC 14, or they'll go away. Back to your graves. Get out of here.
Shoot.
They have turn resistance, so I won't make that save. But
they do not. No, lest I destroy them next time.
Yeah, I passed my save. Does anything happen on a pass? It's not like
we become friends. They're my ghosts now. No. Darn it. Well, that was worth a shot.
I mean, you can tell that something is here bolstering them and boosting their ability to stay here.
It's Myrrh.
No. Yeah, clearly. It's like Gildon.
I only get living humans, not interested in the dead ones.
Anybody else going, taking a fast turn?
I would.
Okay.
You first?
If you want. Either way.
No. I mean, like, did you want to say what you're doing?
Oh, sure. Well, Ellie's still gonna probably run a little bit faster now to see if she can get to these arrow things that hurt our babies.
Oh yeah. You get out here down at the base of the ramp and out of the camp, and you can see that there are a great many of what were probably like the infernal cavalry who are casualties. They've got arrows sticking out of them. It looks as though there was maybe some kind of ambush here when they first left the camp. So there's signs of a battle that you sort of run through, and you can hear people out in the in the desert, just right outside the range of your vision. They're moving about. Sounds like they're running and scrambling, and you are under attack, but they're taking slow turns and not quite get to it yet. But they're shooting at you and attempting to basically kite you.
Yeah, and those are for sure the guilties.
Yeah. They're for sure the guilties.
Okay. Can I hurt them after or on my next turn?
Oh, your next turn, certainly. Yeah.
Awesome.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I try to dodge now, I guess.
Okay, so you're just like running out there looking for the fight. They're trying to keep their distance from you because you're a giant warrior, but you'll be able to get with them next time. Josh, Ninizen was going to take a fast turn, weren't they?
Yes. Well, what's the quickest way up the stairs? Because I'm wondering about this initiative system.
I'm wondering. There are some edges that need to be smoothed out. Sure. What's up?
Yeah. Because if I'm moving up the stairs as quick as I can, would that be a slow action, and I'm taking the dash action and moving my full move?
If you're doing like two things, like a move and a dash, that's a slow. It's resolved because the system is not there to like replicate anything that's happening in the game world. It's supposed to reward. You're doing one thing, it's get it over with quickly. If you're going to do something complicated like move and do something else, that's going to take more time. We'll do that second.
Slow action. Slow action.
Yeah. Don't think of it in terms of like how fast your character's doing something. Think of it how quickly it'll resolve in the game.
Okay.
That's what's for. So you're dashing and moving fast as you can. Okay. Then you get up to the top and you see all the stuff we've been talking about, ghosts and devils and all this kind of stuff that's going on up in the village. Ninizen makes his appearance for those of you still up top. I don't have any fast turns. That makes it slow turns. Ninizen just ran up. We're looking at Ikki and Myrrh, I think.
There's a ghost near one of my ritualists because I need them alive. I can take a hit. They apparently can't. So
that was like two of them. They ganged up on him. He was not particularly tough.
So the next weakest looking one, if he's got any ghosts, I'll just kind of go in that order. Like, who looks most vulnerable? Because apparently these guys suck. Gosh, Pete can't get good help these days. Now I know why they needed me so much. Gosh. All right. I'm going to figure out what that is, and then Dissonant Whispers them.
Okay.
At level... Let's do level 3.
All right.
3 Dissonant Whispers. That's a lot.
How many is that? Still just target one creature?
It's still just target one creature. It just does more damage. And they do have to make a Wisdom saving throw. And if they fail, they also have to use their move speed to get as far away from me as possible. So,
Okay.
If they failed, it's D8, it's 3d6. So cast it 2 levels higher. So 56. Okay. They take 12, 17, 22 points of psychic damage and have to flee.
Yeah, that one that one flees as it is compelled beyond death to flee. And you do anything else on the cast spell?
I guess, does anyone look like they're struggling in the ritual?
No one's like struggling, but most of them have paused their ritual activities to like either fight off the assailants. Arbros has just joined, but there's a lot of flyers coming in after him that look like they were all just engaged in a big aerial battle.
I'll just inspire one of them then.
Okay, gotcha. Ikki.
Keep up the great work. Let's get this ritual done. Come on, let's go.
How long did it take me to get back to Myrrh? Am I back there yet?
It seemed like you like exited, got maybe halfway down and then sort of turned around. You said you were going slow down the ramp, so I didn't figure you made it that far.
I was, yeah. So she rode back full speed. The warhorse goes 60 feet for its movement, so
that's enough to get you back in the village.
Cool. As soon as she sees the horse that she left behind, she will point to Myrrh with her shortboard and defend her. To give that an order to basically take hits from Myrrh. It doesn't have a lot of hit points, but that's going to be hits that Myrrh doesn't take.
Sure. War horses can hit hard.
Oh, they sure can.
Yeah.
And is Myrrh in like serious danger right now? Or
it doesn't
on the up
serious annoyance.
Yeah, I make a perception.
I would love to.
As it's kind of crowded where the ritual is taking place.
Failed this. Myrrh's dead.
It's just like cackling and laughing and straining at its chains.
Yes, we're slaughtering dead people.
I already think it's super gross. So okay, so 23.
It's a mess there. It looks like there's a big aerial battle that it's about to like roll in and hit everybody. That you see it sort of overhead as a group of both bird people as well as some wastelanders who are riding flying mounts.
Yeah, and I'm looking and I'm seeing like all these freaking ghosts.
There's all these kinds of ghosts.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I need to, pardon me, shake things up a little. So Ikki will ride the warhorse forward and then whispers something in its ear, and the warhorse just stomps its foot on the ground and causes an earth tremor just out.
Nice.
Hopefully just to like confuse things a little bit more so she can get Myrrh out of there.
All right.
We need to go. We have to go now. It's only 10 feet. It's a dex save, so
Okay.
Tripped him ghost.
I will cast it in the direction towards Myrrh. So
okay, so you got Myrrh's attention. You see Ikki. There's a horse headed towards Myrrh, and I need Myrrh to make me 3 athletics rolls.
Okie dokie. Athletics.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it's a good thing I'm half proficient in that. 15 for the first one. Dirty 20 for the second one. I'm doing way better. And then 12 for the third one.
Yeah. I got an 18, 21, and a 16.
Ooh.
As Myrrh's world goes dark and 3 pairs of arms grab her. Ikki, you see this. Someone comes out of the shadows. You didn't even see them. You see someone put a big bag over Myrrh's head and grab her. I'll get to get exactly what's going on. Is there anything that Myrrh can do at this moment? You're grappled and
grappled. Grappled and blinded?
Yes, grappled and blinded. You can hear someone. You can hear a drow casting a spell behind you.
A drow, specifically.
Those of you who have a view of the village can see a portal appear momentarily, and then nothing. Myrrh's disappeared. Anybody? I don't know if there's anybody else under
Do you have
attack.
any reactions?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you had like a reaction, like oh shit
no
button.
reaction. I do have spells, plenty of spells I could cast. Just no
Or something. Yeah, so
reaction.
put a bag over your head so you can't see any of them.
I don't need to see them. I just need a dimension door.
Yeah.
I don't gotta see for that.
There is a we'll get to that in just a minute because it might be, I don't know, we'll see. Gildon's still up in the village. Ikki just rode in, saw Myrrh disappear. Ninizen is up top. Actually, now Ellie's the only one out. I'm gonna make one attempt and I'll be back to fast turns. Does a 19 hit Ellie?
It does.
Okay. You have, that's going to be another, in this case, 8 piercing damage as an arrow flies out of the dark. It looks like they're trying to stay what they hope is just outside of your range of vision. Is what it sounds like. Into slow turns, back to fast turn. We're at the top of round 6. Anybody taking a fast turn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you said they're.
No, go ahead, Ellie.
Did you say that they're trying to stay away from me?
They're trying to. They don't look like they're anybody who wants to get anywhere near you. The glimpses of the Wastelanders you can see, they're just like running between rocks, shooting arrows at you. They're not just attacking you. There's others around that they're fighting, but that's kind of, they're trying to stay out of your way.
Are they around 30 feet? Right? They can...
Mostly, yeah. There's some of them that are getting that close to him.
All right, cool. So I have intimidating presence.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically means that I can bam, heck, and boozle and give them a fright. Mm-hmm. And they have to basically pass a wisdom saving throw of 15. DC
Okay.
15.
All right. Ooh,
so I like... No, they're not scared?
Like 9, like to save.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, so like I get closer to them and like I was running, but now like that I see them, she's just gonna get like very serious. She's gonna like take out her super cute and purple and pink axe. And she like you just see like this kind of like rage, if you want to put a name to it. Mm-hmm. Kind of take over her, and she is going to just like what is my 40 feet, yeah, cool. So she's going to get as close to the first person that she sees, and as long as it's like 40 feet or so away, mm-hmm. And she's just going to go to town.
All right.
Like, she mad.
She's mad. Are you actually making an attack, or you're just like you're doing an intimidating presence and then gonna like be ready to attack them next time, or?
Does it count as a action?
Ooh, I'm not sure about intimidating presence. It must be at least. I would think it's an action for it, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like when
I think it does count. Okay. You can use your action to extend the duration.
Gotcha.
That's what I was saying a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I could just be preparing that next.
Okay. So you're preparing that, and then next turn, move and attack would be slow. Anybody else taking a fast one?
Fast turn? I think I'm going for it again. I think I'm going to try to turn undead again and see how it goes.
Let's see. What's the DC on that?
14.
14. Yes, so I got an 11 and a 7, and their turn resistant, or their is a wisdom save. They're not proficient wisdom.
And anyone CR1 or below is destroyed outright.
Yeah, that eliminates easily 4/5 of them, as a great many of them just dissipate, and only the ones who are like armored and clearly warriors in life have remained. The ones
they
that
might
just
be turned though, so if they fail their
That's
saves, they might,
true.
and they'll be running back to their graves, right back to their graves. Their cold graves, shallow,
Okay.
nameless.
Gildon speaks. What power do you call on when you turn undead? Like, 'cause
Okay.
you're not like a god that, or you know.
No, I'm a cleric of Baba Yaga, and this is very like natural too, and their very existence is an unnatural thing. So, what I do is I reach into a small bag and I pull out a bony little hag puppet, and it's like a group of little hag finger puppets, and, and like that spooks them off.
The ghosts, most of the ghosts seem to just like explode and into like ectoplasm that evaporates like hand sanitizer. Then those of them who still remain seem to sink back into the earth, and momentarily at least, the village is clear of ghosts. Anybody else doing a fast turn? All right, slow turns then.
Ikki's going to panic because okay, so Myrrh was just snatched away. Ikki's in the midst of this horrific ritual where a bunch of ghosts just exploded into ectoplasm. She's gonna whistle real low and have the war horses follow her as she like rides back the way she came, but as she's riding, she's going to take out her scrying orb.
Okay. All right.
But I assume all of that can't just be a fast turn, so that's why I waited.
Sure, yeah. And I think it takes like maybe a full minute to even get a good picture with the scry.
Yeah.
But you're preparing yourself for it.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Slow turn?
Yes, please.
Yeah. We'll do Myrrh. Let's do Myrrh last.
Yeah, Nenizen uses their turn to just say what the fuck is going on.
Top utter chaos.
Yeah.
I bet he gets up top just in time to see Myrrh body snatch.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
non-devils.
Yeah, you don't see Myrrh anywhere here.
What do they see?
So Nenizen gets to the top. What I got to the top, just basically right now, as all this is going on, you don't see Myrrh like at all. You see Ikki, who seems to be on the edge of combat and preparing something. You don't see Ellie. You see Gildon, I guess, probably closer where the ritual is, and seems to be doing something related to the fight. But most of the people in here are infernals and fiends and the like, who appear to be recovering from some attack.
A riderless mount.
Riderless mount and enemies in the sky.
You probably can't run faster than 60 feet. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
Like in a round, I can run 100.
You're pretty fast.
But it looks like there are people coming over the walls. There's like shadowy people coming, sneaking around like the ruins on the edge of the thing. The people in the ritual are not like at peace. They're being harassed. There's looks like there's people trying to stop the ritual, basically.
But it appears as though my companions are not.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Nobody's fighting any devils.
Okay, I'm gonna use my action to figure things out.
All right, taking a turn.
I don't know what to do yet.
Taking a turn to think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Myrrh
Yes.
feels a bit of a pressure change as you're taken somewhere, and a voice that you hadn't heard in a while. Two things. You hear this voice, and you can feel that there is a blade pressed up against your sternum.
Okay.
So they're just as Kelrol, the
I love Kelrol. Yeah.
is like, Myrrh, you need to do some explaining. What are you
Oh.
doing here?
Hello, Kelrol. Have you never heard of subterfuge and sabotage? Because I was doing a hell of a lot of that before I was interrupted.
He's like, yes, that's why we're here, Myrrh. And they take, there's silence for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You have a moment, but they are like, they've still got you by the arms. They've got a weapon to you. What's Myrrh's move?
Myrrh's move. Like, yes, you are here to subterfuge, to sabotage, because these are devils. They're not going to give up because an army attacked them and destroyed the ritual and blah blah. They're just going to start casting it again. So I devised of a way to cast the ritual and have it be really botched at the end so that it is unuseful for them and they cannot try again because the meat of the ritual is no longer palpable.
There's a bit of quiet, and then Kelrol speaks again. We're not here to just botch the ritual. We're here to make sure they can't do it again at all. We want them gone.
Yes.
And you're still there's this. They haven't let you go yet.
I was just going about it a different way than you are. I could walk into camp freely and infiltrate and have them think everything is fine until it's very much not, and they all leave through the
Myrrh knows they're not going to leave.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen their paperwork. They're not leaving.
Yes,
no plan.
I've seen Phineas's paperwork, but we have a mutual person with mutual interest and a back door saying, hey, Zariel, maybe we should just, I don't know, take this to Phineas.
Yeah. Are you trying? What's Myrrh's angle here?
She's trying to get them to let their guard down enough that she can be like, look, this is completely unnecessary. We are both trying to accomplish the same sabotage so they cannot complete the ritual again. Can we just talk about this?
Make me a persuasion check.
You know I do not want to draw hurt in any form or fashion with this. Like, let's just talk. Persuasion check. That will be a 25.
There's that quiet sort of like hangs as Myrrh finishes her pitch, and you can sense a bit of hesitation as the sword pressed against you is relaxed somewhat. As,
If you are doing a different method of this, perhaps I can help and assist. I am very knowledgeable about many things.
Well, if you're willing to kill them all, that's why we're here. You can tell he's conflicted, but he also seems like he's. Give me an insight check, because it's you have a moment though, right? Like they're relaxed a little bit. You can tell you're in subterranean.
Not
space.
bad. 19.
Yeah, you can tell that Kelrol wants to not let you go. That he would prefer to keep you with him.
Just tell me how it is you want to disrupt the ritual. I've seen all of their paperwork. I can make sure it actually does stay that way. Because killing them all is not going to stop what they are doing. I can tell you that.
There's more quiet.
There's a.
You haven't tried to get out of the bag or anything.
No, okay. She's just
calm.
Talking.
Yeah.
Because she knows if she's like, no, listen, then it's way suspicious. If she's calm and like, look, dude, I feel ya. So she's just remaining calm. There's a minor noble in hell who has. He's very persistent and will not going to let this go, shall we say?
I can't leave here without their heads or proof. You know that.
So we want to murder.
You can hear like someone walks away. There's like a frustrated sort of like exclamation. The bag comes off Myrrh's head.
Look, I'm all for murdering devils. That's fun. We could do that all day long. But there's this ritual business. Until it's completed, he's not going to let it go. How about speculation? And she's going to kind of like pull out some notes from her pocket. Again, I told you I have botched it to a certain extent, so that the noble, they guess they had someone else try to do it and they failed, so we got someone else and I stepped up to the plate. They will not be in control. I would be able to usurp that, and we could continue on from there.
Mm-hmm.
We can kill as many devils as we like. I'm all for that.
He exchanges a look with one of the other drow who were with him, and they relax their grip on Myrrh.
Mm-hmm. I would personally like to kill the devilish noble who's responsible for all this in the first place, but that requires a bit more finesse than just murdering his followers that he will send more of.
Kelrol seems frustrated by the complications that all this has caused. Orders one of the drow to be your prisoner, and he's just like, we'll be around. And
please, is there some place I can come with you after if things are finished, so that we may? I will hold off the ritual finishing until pretty much everyone but the 3 that I need in the circle are dead. I can hold off for that.
We have a camp. There are caves to the northwest of here.
Northwest.
Not far.
Okay.
And the drow who you're gonna is sort of to maintain the fiction. Disarms himself of some of his weapons. He gets roughed up.
Well, not all of them. Here, this is where you hide this one.
And he presents himself to Myrrh, while the other 4, you're in some kind of cavern. There's what appears to be a crude staircase leading up, but you can tell it's a massive cave complex. There is some sort of fight that took place down here not that long ago.
Okay.
Because you can hear movement and the like from the rest of it. Drow trying to keep quiet. What does Myrrh do?
I'll be like, she likes Kelrol, so she's like, it's good to see you again. There wasn't time to send a messenger to inform of what I was doing before. They monitored communications very closely in the camp, you understand. So.
Yeah, he seems annoyed now. It's way too complicated.
It's all way too complicated. Don't worry, I'm sure that we'll work all of this out. And so Myrrh's going to take her time getting back to the camp. She's like, all right, as long as you, they can kill everybody, but the people I need in that ritual, I don't care how many devils I murder.
So as we wrap up here, we've got Nennison, Gildon, and Ikki inside the village, sort of on the outskirts of a fight that's in a bit of a lull. Without Myrrh to officiate the ritual, and with one of the ritualists killed, they're more like just making sure everything's not completely wrecked. As they look for Myrrh.
Maintain it.
Yeah. So I'd like to know where those of you in the village, where we leave off. Where's the last moment we see you?
What did Ikki get to see through the scrying orb?
So, who are you scrying on?
I was scrying on Myrrh to see whether or not she was being kidnapped by someone trying to murder her.
But Myrrh needs to make a save then. Forget what the DC on the crystal ball.
I have no idea.
I don't even have a wisdom save.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I think Myrrh.
I'm not good at those.
Let's call it a wisdom save. That sounds right. We'll call it
What's
DC
the DC
15 for now. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Well,
I'm not good at wisdom, so there you go.
Well,
I rolled exactly a 15. But I'm pretty sure it's higher than that.
It's DC 17. I'm looking at the entry right now. DC 17.
Well, then I failed.
Okay.
yeah.
You see this scene that just played out.
You see,
I can't hear anything through the scrying orb, can I?
I don't think so. I think it's just...
Yeah, I think it's just seeing, right?
You just see a bag over her head and a sword, then bag pulled off. And
I could probably see that they're drow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might even recognize Kelrol.
I definitely see enough where it's like this. There's this weird fake prisoner handoff or something.
Yeah, I mean they're all speaking in Elven. I don't know if Ikki speaks the Drow dialect of Elven, but you can hear them. They're talking low tones.
You can hear them.
All right, that's what you see.
It definitely sounds like Myrrh's wheedling her way out of something. Though.
Yeah, you totally watched Myrrh.
Yeah, I definitely. I know Myrrh's body language and tones when she starts doing that charisma thing that she does. Ikki is mildly annoyed, but also curious, but also like she's been going through a lot, this episode, just being like, I don't know if Myrrh is as honest as I thought Myrrh was. I think Myrrh has been untruthful.
I have
This
never
Myrrh
told you a lie,
dishonest
but I have
person?
never not told you a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So that's what Ikki saw. Where's you know that Myrrh will eventually is coming up the stairs. What's Ikki's last moment here?
Oh,
Ikki is waiting at the top of the stairs.
Okay. All right, waiting. All right.
can I call that little hell kitty?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, because no one else seemed to really notice it, so I'm leading this fake prisoner back. I want to have a conversation with that.
Okay. It appears. It seems. I mean, it's like you. What? How do you try to get its attention? Because I don't think it never gave itself.
It never gave its
purposefully
name.
never gave you a name.
Yeah. It just said I could call it, so I just think,
Okay.
just basically summon it.
Yeah. It sort of just appears. It's like it's just hanging out. It's like 5 feet from you.
Yeah. I look in its direction, because I'm sure it knows I'm right there. Like, I'm sure you've taken stock of the situation that's going on.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
How does our mutual acquaintance feel about this?
A mutual acquaintance is generally unconcerned with the state of mortal relations on the prime material plane.
Oh, no, I meant with the ritual botching. How does it feel?
I understand you. Thank you very much. A back door of some kind. I think that would accomplish our goals just fine.
The back door, and only in that entity that wouldn't really care about the rest, correct?
Oh,
The fact
certainly.
that his camp and all his minions are taken out would be pleasing as well.
We would regret the loss of personnel.
Of course, lots of personnel is great. Greatly unfortunate. However, I have other interpersonal matters to attend to on this plane.
Clearly, things are quite complicated in your life right now. You don't need all this business. Just get it over with quickly. And,
Exactly. How does Phineas feel about the loss of his troops? Not a mutual acquaintance. As long as he gets his prize.
Phineas is, he's willing to accept some degree of sacrifice, but would prefer that the bulk of the troops, being a store of experience and the like, made it back. I'm certain. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Thank you very much. So I'm sure that was all in referral. She'll switch back to Elvish and go back to the drow. She'll be like, all right, so I'm going to bring you back as prisoner. I'm going to turn you invisible for a moment. You're going to flee. I would like you to find the rest of your troops and tell them to focus on the strongest devils, as I can intimidate the lesser ones into leaving back through the portal.
Yeah.
And then we can minimize losses and casualties either way. Take out their leaders. I will complete and botch the ritual. And then she's wheedling. She's wheedling the fuck out of this.
Okay, so she's wheedling, scheming, and the like. Ikki is waiting. Let's see. Where do we leave off with Gildon?
Oh, here's how I imagine it's going down for Gildon right now. He's commandeered a somewhat empty tent, and he's saying, "Come, my warm and toasty friends. Father Gildon will take care of you." And he's kind of inviting kind of the smaller fiends, imps, etc. He's like, gather in safely, like a hen gathers the chicks under its wings. And it's, I don't know, I just get this idea that it's like, I'm going to take care of these devil children.
Yeah, it's like there's at least a half dozen like imps and spine devils and things like that. Just little gross little devil.
They have seen me perform great miracles not too
long ago. No.
Even called down the fires from the heavens. I don't know what I'm doing with these guys, but I pictured in my head what would Gildon do. It's a role-playing game, so
shelter
it's what
them and we'll lead them back through the portal. Look, we didn't kill all your troops.
Here,
we save for you the finest.
Right, yeah.
Oh, this pack of devils is going to be...
Unfortunately, the leaders fell that I had to assume control.
They're going to become known as Gildon's finest. Like, that's what I want this. This is a crack team of imps.
Gildon gathers the imps.
The lowliest of them all. Come, you worms.
All right. And how about Nenizen?
Nenizen is going to rendezvous with somebody, whoever is probably Ikki.
Yeah, Ikki and Gildon are the most immediate as you appear.
Yeah. Because they're not sure if they should they gotta. I mean, technically, they've got a wet blade,
Sure. Yeah. No, your sword is thick with fiendish blood. Sure.
Yeah, so I'm going to tuck that underneath my cloak and go over to, and kind of like pat over to Ikki and say, what is going on?
I do not know. Where have you been? Where's Slip
Fighting.
Slash?
Oh, he's...
Yeah, he's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
I imagine he like jumps up on the little
Yeah.
immediately into her bag. Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Slash,
just
thank you.
fighting these devil creatures. Along with some help.
You know we
And-
are not supposed to be fighting the devil creatures.
I do not understand people. I do not understand this world. This doesn't make
Did
any
you
sense at
kill
all.
many of them?
No, personally, no.
And she looks like kind of disappointed at that. She's like, fine.
Well, there's others helping, so I didn't have to.
And she'll just kind of shrug and remain like sulking at the top of this stairway. Her mind is on other things right now.
Mhm.
She will
Okay.
say, do you mind finding Ellie? I need to speak with her mother.
Are we regrouping?
Yes. Soon.
Okay.
Yep.
Nunizen nods and starts looking around for Ellie.
Yeah, I mean, she's not anywhere inside the village.
Yeah. Ikki's gonna tell him like the direction that she rode in.
Okay.
Which she thinks that Ellie rode to safety.
Right. As soon as Nizen leaves and starts heading down the ramp, Ellie's nearby. Well, let's check in on Ellie. What's we left off. You were about to like engage in some good old fashioned bloodshed, if I didn't mistake you. Where do we
Yes.
leave Ellie off at?
So you see Ellie go into a rage and basically charge at these things because they hurt not only me, but our new horse friends. And Ellie she's not down for like any animal violence. So hence why she's in a rage.
There are dead wasteland horses all over the place around here, just riddled with arrows.
Yeah, and as soon as she sees that, she's gonna go into a frenzy.
Okay. And that is where we will leave off as parts the village of Ghost Top to the sounds of Ellie's battle rage as she fights some of the skirmishers and other wastelanders down at the bottom of the ramp. Yeah, well, we're sort of pause a bit. There's a bit of a lull in the fighting. Arbros and a group of other smaller flyers. They look like bigger imps, covered in spines, like porcupines. We're fighting some sort of battle with wastelanders in the air. They bring that battle to the village and continue it there, even as the ghosts disappear. Outside, the fighting still rages. It will take some time for the decision to be reached there, but the wastelanders are outnumbered, and their initial momentum has been spent. So we're kind of put a pause on things as there's a bit of a lull. The party needs to regroup and perhaps examine their loyalties, but that's all for people who care about consequences. And like I said, you guys move too quickly through the wastelands to worry too much about that. Thanks everybody for coming out. Let's sorry. Let's check in with our players, see how they are, what they got going on, and where we can find them, all that good stuff. Josh, I'm curious as to Ninizen's whole, like, I thought we're supposed to fight fiends kind of, attitude.
Yeah. Conflict is the word that describes Ninizen right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see how that plays out next time.
Okay.
But he is conflicted, or they are conflicted.
Conflicted and just like what he should have done, or or like the outcome of what happened.
No. They did the right thing. They're just wondering why their party didn't do the right thing. Like,
The wastelands are a complicated place, and concepts like good and evil are.
he's. Yeah, I mean, okay. You know what? Josh is at Beer for Charity on Twitter, and he would like to hear from people if they have things to say or do. And I draw.
There you go.
And yeah, check me out there. Also on Instagram, all the places.
All the social medias.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. Come find me.
Thank you, Josh. Anna, how's it going? And where can we find you?
Hello, it's going. I am excited for Ellie to be fighting again for a good cause, of course, as always.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. Yeah, things are sketchy, and I mean, she doesn't know this. I know this, but poor Ellie, sweet summer child. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for next week, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
things
see.
have gotten very complicated, and it's I think it's
Yeah,
just-
imagine if she calls like a demon, her new demon friend. Like, oh, things will be even more complicated.
you could just get them together in a room. Yeah,
And make cakes and stuff, right? Dance, have tea party.
the favor I'm asking for is for you to play with each other.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Where can we find you online?
But you guys can find me on Twitch as Cyborg Pizza or Twitter and Instagram as AnnaBPhoto.
Awesome. Excellent. And TK.
Stressed out, Jim.
She's mad.
Yeah.
Real mad.
Yeah.
Ikki's real mad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
TK, less so.
Yeah.
Having a nice time.
That's
Ikki,
Oh, Ikki's really mad.
Yeah.
what is happening to my family?
I don't know. I mean, it's almost like all of these.
The
plots
daughter
and
doesn't
things-
listen to me. The co-mother doesn't listen to me.
Blame the devils.
What a part of the scene.
The adopted uncles don't listen to me. The adopted
One less
uncle and the other
bell to answer.
second cousin. Somebody shot my bird horse dog. Stressed out, Jim.
I'm handling it.
Ellie's handling it.
Are you? Because I told you to get your ass to the skiff. That's
Yeah.
okay.
YOLO, Mom.
Yeah.
YOLO.
Ah!
I'm not trying to convince Anna to take a level in Warlock of the Fiend. I'm not, guys. I'm not.
It feels like you are, though, Jim. You're corrupting my precious BB. I am TK. I write spooky stories on the internet. And if you like spooky stories, then you should read them at tkjwrites.com or follow me, TK Joins the Fray. Sometimes I write fan fiction. I'm going to blame this entire session on the fan fiction I wrote yesterday. And then I feel like I have some control over this situation that I clearly have no control over.
Wow.
If you like watching me make other people cry, then you can come hang out with me tomorrow night. It'll be fun. We'll play some Ravenloft. We'll hang out on the Wizards D&D channel. It'll be cool. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, goodbye.
yeah.
Buy my book.
Yay.
Her book, because I did.
Do it.
I bought your book as well.
Sweet.
It's coming.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, TK. Lindy, Myrrh's got something going on, doesn't she?
I have been waiting for this the entire campaign. Myrrh is just, she's been waiting like every town. I'm like, am I gonna get to wheedle and deal and triple cross backstab people? No, it's never happened. So I'm finally getting to do it. She's so excited. She's loving it, living it, eating it up. Ready to betray and backstab so many people and elevate myself to a higher level of power and position and potentially so many chords. It's great. I'm loving this, Jim. Waited for this. Waited so long. I'm so excited. You can find me online being somewhat less evil at Laugh Love Lindy on the Twitches and the Twitters and all that good stuff, where I play /DM about a dozen or so tabletop RPGs throughout the week. You can catch me in about half an hour on Scraticus's channel, DMing some basically outer space pirates as we run through some dark matter. And on my own channel on Tuesdays, playing Mists of Ravenloft. And it's gonna be super spooky and awesome. Let's check it out.
Excellent. And Grant, same deal.
Well, I don't know, but I feel somewhat responsible for these imps now. I don't know. They're littler than me. They're littler than me.
They look at you. They look at Gildon expectantly, like we're doing this, right? Like, this is, you're getting us out of here?
100%.
Okay.
I promise not to eat any of your devils. They're delicious. Have you ever tried Imp Rain? Hi, everybody. My name is Grant Ellis. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games. I'm currently one of the designers. I'm a stretch goal on the Kickstarter Reach a Titan right now. There's a lot of other cool designers like Cat Cool, James Intricasso, Matt Forbeck, Alistair Guzman. There's a lot. Check it out. A lot of cool people involved with that game. Katrina Ostrander, the story lead for L5R. So if you like big monsters and you like big challenges, that's a good game for you. If you want to know my streaming schedule, the best way to find that out is to follow me on Twitter at WisePapaGrant. I'm on a lot of different streams. I'm a producer here on the WebDM Twitch channel. So you can catch me here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Also, I am the tabletop director for a convention called Gex Convention, which is a video game / tabletop gaming convention. We are pleased to announce today that D&D and ASL is returning, so D&D in American Sign Language, where we run Dungeons & Dragons for the hard of hearing and deaf community. It was a huge hit last year, and we're working on expanding that with some of the local universities, etc., and groups, so that everybody can come to the table and play. So
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you. But follow all these lovely people. They're the best.
Excellent. Where is that? Like, where and when is Gex?
Northern Virginia. It's going to be June 28th through 30th. No, 28th through 30th. It'll be at the Dulles Expo Center, so near the Dulles Airport. It's kind of a nice convention center. It's also kind of a nice convention. Jennifer Kretschmer, a gaming personality and a TV producer, had posted a lengthy guide to improving accessibility for game conventions, and I had retweeted it, and the heads of this convention actually saw that retweet and actually itemized every list that they could improve and put their resources, their time, their money. They hadn't even sold tickets yet, but they were willing to invest in creating a game experience that was far more accessible from across, a wide variety of needs, from wheelchair accessible areas, so on and so forth. So really appreciate the tabletop community raising awareness, and I'm happy that I can help run these games.
Excellent. That's awesome. I am Jim Davis. This is WebDM Twitch. We've got a YouTube channel where you can go check out our RPG advice tabletop videos. We are happy you guys came out and hung out with us this Thursday. Go and check out all the stuff that our players are doing, what they're up to. We've got a great crew here, and this game would not be what it is without these guys. So appreciate the love that you guys show us. We hope you have a great weekend, and don't forget to join us on Sunday for episode 2 of Lost Girls. And I believe that's at 2 or 3 Eastern. I'm sure
3 Eastern.
3 Eastern. Yes, I got it mixed up last
I'm
week.
in it.
Eastern. Yes, Liddy's in it.
Yes.
But go and check that out, little Cypher vampire action. Otherwise, we hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.